This is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt, WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland. Michigan sports aren't just a game, they're a way of life. And now we've got a show dedicated to die-hard sports fans like you. Hosted by a guy who's borderline obsessed with the wins and losses of all your favorite teams.
He's crazy.
Every weekday morning from 9 to noon, Ben Bosscher brings you the talk that matters. The teams, the stories, and the players you care about most. This is the Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Remember that. Hello, and welcome into the show, everybody. Happy Friday. Thanks for letting us be a part of your weekend. Tigers lost another one yesterday. That was a little bit of a heartbreaker because Troy Melton had such a great outing. He was hitless through 5. He was cooking, and the Tigers couldn't give him any run support. It's almost embarrassing, the fact that they lost that game with how good of a performance that Troy Melton had on the mound. We're going to talk to an awesome page from Twitter, TigersData, at 9:30, so I am excited about that. I've got a crazy Tiger stat for you regarding whether they do or don't score a certain number of runs. That's at 9:15. That was supposed to be the lead of the show, but we get an article this morning that is from The Athletic that essentially says Jalen Duren is exploring sign-and-trade options for offer sheets. He's a restricted free agent. Once that becomes an option on Tuesday, and the Pistons could capitalize on that. You sign him, you move him for another guy making a good amount of money. We've talked about Kawhi Leonard. Jaylen Brown is a player that's available. Boston is in need of a center. I don't know if I necessarily believe that this is the route the Pistons are going to take, but it's certainly a leverage play from Jalen Duren in his camp to just start putting out information to writers going, yeah, we're going to look for the sign and trade if we're not going to get the max offer. And Duren's eligible for, I think it's up to $278 million deal. He won't get that. No one thinks he's going to get that. But I think Jalen Duren wants somewhere around $200, $210, $220 million. And Trajan Langdon and the Pistons have sat very patient and said, I don't think anybody else is going to offer this to you, man. I really don't. Maybe the Pistons are the ones, that were so interested in Austin Reeves that forced the Lakers to give their hand and pay him a pretty good amount of money, which took the Lakers off the table to go get a guy like Jalen Duren. If that's the case, they are playing chess and not checkers in manipulating other teams into certain decisions, which is exactly what you want your GM to do this time of year. So what do you think? Are you smelling BS on this Jalen Duren is exploring sign and trades, Kyle, or is this something that could realistically happen on Tuesday? What's your BS detector smell?
Yeah, this is a tough one because I absolutely sniff out the BS here, right? And it makes sense. If I'm Jalen Duren and his camp, and we've been in conversations with the Pistons, we have talked about the Pistons' number one priority, probably up to this point, has been figuring out the Jalen Duren contract. The Pistons have probably gone to him and said, hey, this is what we feel you should be paid. Jalen Duren's like, man, I'm eligible for 5 for $287. I'm going to try to get every dollar of that I can. And so when clearly the Pistons aren't going to offer him that, because why in the hell would they?
Right.
And other teams cannot offer him that either. The Pistons are the only team that can offer him that much. He can still get a pretty good deal from other teams, but not as much as the Pistons can give him. If I'm Jalen Duren, this is the route to take. Okay, well then if you don't want to pay me, X amount, then I don't want to be here. I would rather go play for another team that is willing to pay me the max that they can give. And so then if you're the Pistons, you're like, oh, man, well, now we don't want to lose Jalen Duren. We just didn't want to pay him. And now there's this awkward situation and this and that. I'm totally sniffing it out. This is Jalen Duren. I would be absolutely shocked if he is on another team next year still at this point. Now, this report is very interesting because it shows that Duren's camp is pretty adamant about getting the max dollar amount that they can. And this was something we were worried about coming into this offseason. Like, okay, we know the player he was in the regular season. We know the player he was in the postseason. And we know the type of money that is going to heavily impact the Pistons' future in a positive or negative way. If you overpay Jalen Duren, and he is more so the postseason version of himself, for the next so many years during that contract, the Pistons aren't winning a championship because he's going to, make up X amount percentage of their cap. That's going to make it extremely difficult to make wiggle room for other moves.
There is a world where this is some pretty advanced level thinking from Trajan Langdon, because the most that other teams can sign Jalen Duren to is only a 4-year, $177 million max contract, which is about $100 million less than what the Pistons could offer him. So if
just
Trajan,
under 45 a year,
if Trajan Langdon knows for a fact, I don't think there's another team that's going to offer him that, he may as well brush his hands and say, Jalen Duren, we appreciate everything you've done. Go find a team that'll give you $177 million a year and do it as like the good cop. Go find a team. You deserve to be paid. It just isn't going to be here. And then when Jalen Duren realizes nobody else has the money nor wants to give him that, all of a sudden he comes back to Trajan Langdon with his tail tucked between his legs and says, okay, I'll take your offer. And then Trajan can even take, throw less money on the table, and he'll probably have to take it because he doesn't have many options elsewhere. I think there is a world, and I'm with you, I'd be shocked if Jalen Duren was on any other team next season. But I do think if Jalen Duren's back on a deal similar to the 4-year, 177, that's a pretty good deal for Jalen Duren, who is a third-team All-NBA guy, a guy who is 22 years old and is getting better. We went through all the things that we think he can become. I know it was a stinker of a playoffs, but there's not really a reason that he can't continue to get better and go dominate the paint and be a guy who leads the NBA in rebounding and put on another 5 pounds of muscle and go be unstoppable in terms of getting to the rim and going up through people. He got a little bit cold feet in doing that in the playoffs and inserting his will. I don't know if he'll ever be a three-point shooter or a guy who has a reliable 18-foot jump shot, but what he can be is someone who just is a bully down low, and he can reinstate that back into his game this upcoming season and throughout the playoffs next year. My big concern with Jalen Duren is not the development of Jalen Duren. It's the fact that him and Asar Thompson can't play next to each other. That's my big concern. But I don't think that's a concern the Pistons are going to address this offseason. So if Trajan Langdon is recognizing, of course we're going to have Jalen Duren back, but we're trying to get him back under the most team-friendly deal as possible. Because if we give him the max, he's an overpaid player. He doesn't have the skill set, doesn't have the ranging skill set to be a max player. And he's not good enough at this one thing yet, dominating the paint, to justify giving him a max contract, because he's not that great of a defender either. He's a good one. He's a well-improved defender, but he's not some elite rim protector, nor does he stretch the floor. So you don't want to give him a max contract. So if you can say, you know what, Jalen Duren, go find someone to give you $177 million. Good luck. Be buddy cop with him. And then when he realizes there's not another team that's going to be willing to pay it, and him and his agent have to come back to the Pistons, then it allows them to not underpay him, because none of these guys are truly underpaid, but underpay him in the sense that, oh yeah, he got way less money than he thought he was going to, and it ends up being a very team-friendly deal. That's where we're trying to land with Trajan Langdon and the Pistons this offseason for Jalen Duren. It's not moving off of him.
Yeah.
It's getting him back under the most team-friendly deal you can.
And that was always the goal. He was never going to get the max that he was eligible for,
never,
based off of the way that the postseason went. We were nervous about that.
I thought he was going to get the 200.
Sure, and just the interesting part is that even with this news, all offseason long, we had been operating under the circumstances that, look, Jalen Duren is not going to be gone from the Pistons this year. But this report at least has opened my eyes to, is there actually any realism in a for-real sign-and trade?
Yeah, to Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers.
What if a team like
Brown?
The Clippers or the Pelicans or the Bulls no longer can't because of the Claxton deal are legit just we actually would be willing to overpay Jalen Duren. We would give him that 4 for 177. I assume the Pistons would match it. I'd be pretty surprised if the Pistons wouldn't match that.
It'd be irresponsible to just let him walk.
Well, yeah, but then a sign and trade would probably come into place here.
Right.
But what if there's a world where this relationship has grown sour just over these contract extension talks, and the Pistons are like, you know what? It might honestly not be worth it to match this and bring him back and do a for real sign and trade.
I think Jalen Duren's tight enough with the actual roster, though, that once he stepped onto the court, it wouldn't matter. He might have some frustrations with the front office, but most teams, it's kind of normal for a team to have frustrations with the front office when negotiations aren't going the way that you think they're going to. It's not like he has any resentment towards the players on the team or the coach. That's why I don't think there's a burned relationship there like there potentially is with Boston and Jaylen Brown, where it's like, nah, this guy actually wants to go do his own thing. I don't think that's the case with Jalen Duren.
Right.
It's just, well, I'm going to stick it to the front office.
This has got my gears really turning up top right now. I'm just like thinking about what every single possible scenario at this point, and all of those scenarios involve Isaiah Stewart got traded.
Yeah.
So that's the tough part about this. If Isaiah Stewart was still on the team, then I would really be putting some major thought into, like, what if a sign and trade actually is a potential here? Because it makes a lot of the bigger moves that we have talked about, the Kawhi Leonards, even the Trey Murphys, the Jaylen Brown one, which is a crazy one, but still, it makes those a lot more realistic if a sign and trade of Jalen Duren is going back to the other team.
Yeah, but if you're doing a sign and trade with Jalen Duren now, you almost you do have to get a center back in return. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it, because your only center on the roster right now, if you were to trade Jalen Duren, is Paul Reed in your second-round pick. So that's not really getting it done. As much as we all love Paul Reed, I don't think he's a guy who should be getting 30-plus minutes a night on any given team.
Of course not.
So they're in a little bit of a tricky situation. Free agency opens, what is the 30th, Tuesday?
30th, yeah.
Tuesday. This is going to be fascinating to see this play out over the weekend. I have a feeling by the time Monday rolls around, we're going to have a better idea of how this thing's going to play out.
I sure hope so.
989,
we're probably going to have 1,000 different fake reports, too.
100%. 989-837-6125. Got a crazy Tigers stat for you. When we come back at 9:30, we'll talk to TigersData on Twitter, which is just a phenomenal account doing some cool work this year. So excited about that at 9:30. A lot of stuff to get to. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. Live here on 100.9 The Minute. The 9 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Iron Stack Technology. We talk about the game plan all the time on this show. The execution of it, that's how Iron Stack approaches IT. They help businesses stay secure, efficient, and ready for what's next, so you can focus on your mission instead of your tech. Iron Stack Technology, solution-driven, mission focused. You can check them out online at ironstacktechnology.com. The show is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair, the experts who do the job right the first time. Whether you have a leaky roof, storm damage, siding looking tired, Bresky has you covered. Locally owned, trusted, and dedicated to keeping Midland area homes safe and looking sharp. Quality materials, skilled craftsmanship, and service that puts your family first. Don't wait for the next storm. Call Bresky Siding and Building Repair today and keep your home strong for years to come.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and...
You want to hear a pretty disgusting Tiger stat? One that I can't really make sense of why this is the way that it is. The Tigers this year are 4-35 when they fail to score 4 runs. 4-35 when they fail to score 4 runs. It's like they can't win a low-scoring game. They've won 4 total low-scoring games. Yesterday was obviously not one of them because added to that 35 number. I can't really make sense of this because even in games where they're not scoring a ton of runs, their rotation and their bullpen's been good enough to where you think they could hold on to some of these leads. But it feels like one can't go with another. If the bullpen's having, or if the pitching staff is having a poor day, the bats don't show up. If the bats are having a great day, the pitching staff doesn't show up. It's a lot of signs of just a very incomplete team, which is where I've landed on this Tigers team. 3 straight losses. You started out June 13 games under 500. Look at that. You're right back there. It's just not been a very fun week stretch, 2-week stretch after you really got fans excited at the beginning of June, and you're right back to square one, unfortunately. The positive from yesterday is Troy Melton had such a lights-out performance and now leads the team in ERA and WHIP, which the more and more he's out there, the more and more you feel comfortable trading Tarek Skubal, because every time you watch Melton, it's like, oh my God, what do the Tigers have here? And yesterday, just an incredible outing by him is completely ruined because the Tigers fail to score 4 runs, of course, and they lose. I can't really make sense of why they can't win a game where they don't score more than 4 runs. Now, obviously, you don't score runs, you're not going to win games.
Yeah.
But they haven't been able to win these low-scoring games at all.
I mean, that's kind of how a lot of bad teams, that just proves how you're a bad team. The New York Mets, who have the same exact record as the Detroit Tigers at this point in the season, which is kind of sad because it feels like the Mets have had a much more disastrous year than the Tigers had, yet they have the same record. They fall into the same boat. When they've scored 3 or fewer runs, they're 4-39, but 4 or more, they're 30-7. It's just, this goes
So
to show
weird.
the bad teams. If you are a bad team, you can't win the low-scoring, close games. You win a lot of the games where you pop off and you have 5 to 7 runs, but when you're in this little mix right here, you can't get it done. And yesterday's was the exact example of that. You get through 6 innings, and we're all thinking it. Well, you weren't quite through 6 innings. You were in the 6th inning. We were all thinking it.
Yeah.
Troy Melton, perfect game. It's going to happen. Well, but it was on your mind.
He was 75 pitches
Yeah.
in going into the 6th, which made me think there's no chance this is happening. But
For sure.
how long can he keep
Exactly.
this going?
I was like, if he could get through 7 perfect innings, that would be incredible. Could we get a combined perfect game here? That would be unbelievable. And then he gives up the home run. It's like, oh, wait, the Tigers are losing. The Tigers were never winning in this game.
Yep.
Despite the amazing Troy Melton start. It's a perfect, we've had a lot of these games where one game represents the Tigers season in a whole. Last night was one of them. Troy Melton, awesome start. He has been amazing so far since returning from the injured list this season. And it didn't matter because the offense was literally never there the whole night. And then they give up a goofy run in the 9th inning. So Dylan Dingler's solo shot in the bottom of the 9th inning doesn't matter.
Yeah. It's the most classic Tigers home run. Oh, we're down by 2 runs and we haven't scored the entire game and we're in the 9th inning. Here's a good time for a solo pop.
And no one's on base.
Yeah, here's a good time for a solo
Dead
pop.
shot to center.
How many times this season, of all the home runs that the Tigers have hit, doesn't it feel like 75% of them, 80% of them are just solo bombs because nobody's ever on base? It feels like we certainly have not hit a grand slam this year. The amount of 3-run home runs that they've hit has got to be 3 or less. Nobody's ever on base with this team, which makes it pretty difficult to score multiple runs in the same inning. It's like, and you know the weird part? 2 years ago when they went on that miraculous run to close the season, they were amazing at these one-score games, at these one-run games where it's low scoring and you just find a way to squeak one out at the end. They have not been able to do that at all this season. And I, on the surface, feel like this team is better than that one because of the surge of Dylan Dingler, because of Kevin McGonigal being added to this team, Riley Green having a really good season, Kirby Carpenter's still around, but no Gleyber Torres has proven to be much more problematic than anyone could have possibly imagined. No Javi Baez, for some reason, has been a pretty tragic thing that's happened to this team. Colt Keith, even though he's been playing, up and down this year, still the best year of his career, I would say. It just they haven't been able to win these close games towards the end of these games, and they haven't been able to squeak out a lot of these wins like they did a couple of years ago. I can't really quite put my finger on why. It just feels like they've never really been able to come together this year. Maybe that's injuries, never being fully healthy, but it seems like it's a bigger problem than that.
Yeah, I mean, how many percentage of the season have they really felt like they put together games at a whole?
The stretch in June,
25%, and then maybe the stretch that they had where they were fine before everybody got injured in May.
Yeah, when they were a 500 ball club.
Or April, I guess that would have been.
I feel like this is just a 500 ball club. They got decimated by injuries, and now they're 10 games, 13 games below 500. But even if they're healthy, this doesn't really feel like anything more than a 500 ball club.
Yeah, that's it. Like, even if they were fully healthy and they put this all together, stats like these are the ones that show you that they're not truly a good team. Kenley Jansen coming in the game last night and immediately allowing a run that doesn't allow the Dylan Dingler home run to do it. Like, it's stuff like that you can be fully healthy, and we can complain about the injuries. They are just a 500 team. You're right.
Which is a shame because the starting rotation is really good, and there's 3 awesome bats on this team that you feel good about going forward between Dingler, McGonigal, and Riley Green. So, if I just told you those things, it'd be like, oh, this is probably a pretty good team, but the rest of the sum of its parts just don't add up to end up being anything special. Like, the bullpen is Depends on the week you look at them, what their stats tell you about them. But ultimately, the closers are just, they haven't been great this season. And the bottom half of the lineup is just, it's unproductive at the end of the day. I will say, having Troy Melton around and having performances like that stack on top of each other, having 4 wins, which is somehow at the top of the Tigers pitching staff, leading the team in ERA and WHIP, having, it's impossible to get hard hits on this guy, doesn't really walk a ton, does make me feel a little bit better about trading Tarek Skubal. I will say that.
Of course it does. I mean, Troy Melton, and it's not like last night was just the first indication of I'm okay with us trading Tarek Skubal now.
This
because
is all
of
the way
Melton.
from last year.
He's been incredible up to this point. Even so far this season, he has a .85 whip that's second in the American League with starters that have pitched at least 30 innings this year. Is second in all of the American League.
Mm-hmm.
He's been unbelievable. And yet they lose.
Yeah, I guess I don't feel bad for him, but I do wish that we could just continue to stack wins when a guy goes perfect through 5 games or 5 innings. Not being able to pick up a win there has become incredibly frustrating. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show here on a Friday. As always, brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Crane's L&M Appliance Center has been serving the Tri-City area with quality homes and appliances, from refrigerators and washers to stoves and dishwashers. They'll get you backed up with friendly, knowledgeable staff that you can count on. They make getting the right appliance easy with delivery, professional installation, haul away for your old units, and even financing options to fit your budget. Stop into Crane's L&M Appliance Center today and discover dependable brands and great value for every room in your home.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
Was yesterday at all a breaking point for you with this Tigers team, with their third straight loss and losing in that way, where Troy Melton delivers this incredible performance through 5 innings, perfect through 5, gets through 1 out in the 6th, gives up a solo shot, and that's the only run that he allows to hold night? Oh, you probably win that game, right? Nope. Only run you score is a 9th inning solo shot, Dylan Dingler-Baum, and you lose 1-2. That was such a gut punch to where just kind of floating around and talking to some people in my life, it was like, yeah, that one was just one that I don't know if I can forgive. I don't know if I can still really ride this team out the way that they've really made you excited at the beginning of June and now have gone back to where they started this month. Was this a breaking point for you, Kyle?
It's been broken. It's been over. Now, yeah, you got it?
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Fiend still playing every day at 9:30.
That was the breaking point right there. Was the Fiend going off? Yeah, look, it was a breaking point because something that can spark a season, something that can spark any sort of comeback, is like a historic thing. You know, Troy Melton goes out and throws a perfect game. That could have really done something.
Okay,
no, they just lose the game. No, but you know what I mean? So there was a little bit of hope that was coming with that. It was more than just like a, OMG, he might throw a perfect game, but it was more of like okay, this could really maybe kick them in the right direction to go out to get on some sort of streak. And then they just lose. And it's also the first game of a 4-gamer, so to come out with that kind of performance could have been something big for the weekend.
Yeah.
Against a team that you were actually technically still fighting with in the American League wildcard race.
Yeah, Benetti made a good point yesterday where he's like, I know it's not even July yet, but with how many teams are in this American League wildcard race, you have to beat some of them toe-to-toe at some point, and the Tigers have already lost a series to Houston earlier this year.
Yeah.
You can't afford to lose a second consecutive series to them and then therefore lose the season series with them as well if there's going to be this many teams fighting the wildcard spot. Eventually, you have to start kicking the teeth in of these teams that you're fighting with, and you get out to an 0-1 start against this team, and you don't have Skubal starting in any game this series too, and you lost an incredible Troy Melton outing. They're not giving you any reason to believe in them right now.
Likely his best outing of the year. Yeah, there are 4 teams right now tied for the last spot in the wild card race in the American League. Houston, Toronto, Texas, and wherever the Athletics play.
That 5 games out is such an illusion. With how many teams they have to pass,
and that's
how many teams ahead of them that they can't beat.
I'm with you in the point that I'm sick of it. I'm sick of hearing every time the Tigers lose, oh, but they're only 5 games out. They're only 4 games out. Okay, but it's going to take a month for them to make that up. A month of good baseball. Just being 5 games back doesn't mean you win 5 games in a row and all of a sudden you're in the wild card race. No, they were 5 games back when they went on their hot streak a couple days ago. Mm-hmm. It's just because all these other teams stink. Those teams that I just said that are all tied for the final wild card spot, every single one of them is 3 games below 500.
Yeah, and all of them have beat the Tigers in a series.
The Tigers are 13 games below 500. Let's just do that kind of math. I wish the games back column in the standings was blacked out. I don't want to see it. All I want to see is the records because they're 10 games worse than the teams that are actually in a playoff spot right now. And that takes a lot of work to get back to a point where you think you can actually make it. And like you said, they just aren't beating any of these teams that are in front of them.
If they were 5 games back and they were only, they were the last team out, I would be totally with you. Oh, we're only 5 games back, and we could keep telling ourselves that every single day. But they're 5 games back, and then the next team is Minnesota and Baltimore at 1.5. Then you said there's 4 teams tied for that last wild card spot.
You know who else is 5 games back? The Boston Red Sox, who are having the literal season from hell. They're 5 games back. You don't hear their fans being like, but we're only 5 games back. No, they want the season to be over.
Yes.
They want the season to be done.
And
the New York Mets aren't even that far back in the National League.
And the injuries have clouded everyone's mind that they've been convinced, well, if they can just get healthy. No, they've been healthy for a while. What is Javi Baez coming back and making a difference? No, not at all.
Yeah, this team, other than the Glaber re-injury, this team is for the most part fully healthy. Glaber obviously is a huge loss, but like,
yeah, they have 7 wins when he's not in the lineup.
it's pretty bad.
It's horrific. Yeah, man. Like if this team was in the National League with 34 wins right now, they'd be 9.5 games out of the
Correct.
wild card spot. This is not a good baseball team. It's not a playoff baseball team. And the Troy Melton stuff has made me really feel like I'm good with trading Tarek Skubal. Let's go get a mass amount of players that they can get in return. 4 players that can help contribute with this team. A couple bats, 1 arm in return. I've made it clear I don't think the arm should be the prized possession because no matter what, he's not going to be Tarek Skubal. So you may as well make it an ancillary piece to this trade and go get some big-time bats to help you because right now half the guys in the lineup on an everyday basis are non-contributors at the end of the day. How you Lee...
Lee's been fine.
Lee's been fine. But like all these guys at the bottom of the lineup, it's like they're fine. They're not actually coming through in big moments ever. You don't think of them as like long-term pieces of this team. Okay, go replace them then with trading Tarek Skubal away, and then you're not even crossing your fingers at this point. There's some real signs that Troy Melton can be your ace as soon as next season. Jackson Jobe's still coming back. That's a big mystery too. So I'm down to just be done with Tarek Skubal. I've essentially given up on this Tigers season. Let's see what some other people have said. 989-837-6125. Cam says, realistically, yeah, I have given up, but they are still in it. Got to go run. Got to go on a run, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, it's not impossible. It
what
should
signs
not
have they given you that it's going to happen? Though?
Right. Them winning a series the other day, like.
Tom says there's still a slim possibility of making the playoffs, but we need solid hitting center and right fielder and a bullpen piece or two. Going to have to trade Skubal to get them. Okay, so what if that's actually the method? You trade Skubal. Is there a world where you trade Skubal and all of a sudden you like spark your team as soon as this year? And it's like, oh wow, they actually did get hot post the deadline.
I think it could
By
happen,
that point,
yeah.
it's probably too late though.
It could
have all of August and
they could get
all of
hot
September?
because they're just not very good. Like if their version of getting hot is like winning 4 of 8 series, then sure.
They're still not making the playoffs.
Yeah. I think that could totally happen though. It's not like we mentioned it yesterday on the show. It's not like they're dominating the Skubal starts.
They're
like
under 500 in Skubal starts
Correct.
since last September. Terry says, remember the 04 Red Sox? Yeah, man, I don't think this team's winning the World Series.
I don't think so either. That version of the Red Sox was also in an incredible drought, which I guess the Tigers, sure, they're also in an incredible drought. But
you know what the other thing that's given the Tigers fans this false sense of security? It's like, oh, but they play in this worst division ever. Yeah, but they're still they can't beat the teams in front of them.
Yeah.
They can't beat Cleveland.
They're still worse than the Twins. I mean, like, yeah, they play in the worst division ever, and they're at the bottom of it. That should be your sign. Like, it shouldn't be a hopeful thing.
And also, the AL West has just turned into the new AL Central, at least for this season.
I still think that's just going to somehow get normal, but we're now halfway through the season. Like, the fact that it hasn't yet is pretty unreal.
Bradley says, I'll watch, but I'm convinced just from what I've heard, they aren't even trying to win their division. It seems like they're okay with making it into the wild card. I mean, I think they'd be thrilled to make it into the wild card at this point.
I think everybody would be. We got some YouTube chats as well. Luke says, they're just so bad on the road and barely 500 at home. It's just the truth. Until they start winning series on the road, I don't believe anything they do.
Yeah, that's the thing, too. They could win a homestand like 4 of 6 games, then I'd be like, all right, they're just going to blow it when they go on the road anyway. They're just going to lose 4 of 6 or 5 of 6 when they hit the road because they never win on the road. What else are they saying?
RB, as a fan of the Sox, can confirm when we were talking about the Red Sox fans not being excited about their year. Kevin says, we've been bad for almost an entire year. This team is on pace to flirt with 100 losses. You know what I was thinking about?
That's not real, is it? Are they actually flirting with 100
I mean,
losses?
we're halfway through the season right now. They have 47 losses.
Oh, my God.
We are 81 games in. You know, like they absolutely are flirting with it.
It is mind-blowing to me that they're just going to be worse than they were the last 2 years. when I feel like the roster should just be better with Dingler really surging and McGonigal becoming McGonigal.
It's like when you shoot a 47 on the front, and it's like, okay, if I just pace this, I can just shoot a 94 on the total if I do this on the back. But do we think this team is going to be better on the back?
No.
I don't think so. I was thinking about this, though. With the new, and we're going to talk about some of this stuff in the news next, but with the MLB new proposals.
Oh, you mean where they're taking away gambling?
Yeah, but not that one. The MLB they're throwing out all of this new stuff for the new CBA that's going to happen this offseason. At least it's going to get discussed this offseason. They want these new maximum 5-year deals for free agents that are changing teams. So like Juan Soto can't sign a 13-year deal anymore.
Yeah.
15-year deal.
Which I think would make free agency more fun on any given year.
It would. Probably. It would make it like more teams would get involved.
Yeah, you'd have more guys hitting the market.
Exactly. Well, and you would just have more teams willing to pay contracts. Because right now it's like, oh, I can just give a guy an 11-year deal when everyone else is wanting to give him a 6-year deal.
Mm-hmm.
Does this not make Tarek Skubal more valuable in the right now before this goes into effect? Because if I'm a team that is like, okay, maybe I don't want to trade for Tarek Skubal, we'd be willing to just try to get him in the offseason and pay him or whatever. Or like these teams are willing to give up more at the deadline, we'll try to get him in free agency. If he's on your team, like if you trade for him now, you can give him more than 5 years. This is just for free agents that are signing extensions or signing with different teams in the offseason.
So because you can give him the 6-year deal.
If the Dodgers trade for him, they could give him a 10-year deal or whatever the rule is going to be.
No,
if he's
5
on
and
your
6.
team. Oh, it's just 5 and 6?
It's 5 years to join a new team, and it's 6 years max to re-sign with your own team. But you get an extra year.
You get the extra year of that. What doesn't that make his value higher currently, this new proposal?
Or does it make it lower because you can't give him the 10-year contract when he's done?
Well, nobody can give him the 10-year contract then. You know?
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I guess in theory it should make him a little. I think every team is just waiting to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
Before they can ultimately decide what is good or bad for them. There's going to be so many changes coming.
Chris, I'll close this with the last YouTube chat. I'm hoping for a full summer of trades. Trade Skubal, trade Duren, trade Larkin.
Okay. Wow.
We're about to, I mean, there's a world where all 3 of those happen. 2 of them are going to happen.
You don't have to be a pro to get pro-level healthcare, whether you're hitting the gym or the field or just staying active. Covenant Healthcare Sports Medicine helps you prevent injuries, recover quicker, and keep doing what you love. Hey, it is Friday after all, and nothing pairs better with game day than an ice-cold Yingling. Whether you're locked in for kickoff, tip-off, or the final inning, it's got that crisp, smooth taste that just hits right. Kind of like your team when they're firing on all cylinders. It's one of those simple game day staples. You got the crew, TV's up loud, something cold is in your hand, that is a Yingling. Another round of Yingling, and now it really does feel like game day.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding. by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, let's make sure we know everything that's going on, including a couple scores from yesterday. Here's Kyle with the news.
The Mitts Morning Catch.
We do have a little bit of breaking news going on during this last break. It's not that important, though, to the people of Detroit or Michigan or anything. But the Mets are firing their manager, Carlos Mendoza, just now. They're on a 6-game losing streak. They just got swept by the Cubs as well. Same record as the Tigers, though. And it makes me wonder, is A.J. Hinch going to get fired at all this year?
I think he might.
What would the odds be? If you just had to put odds on it right now, before the end of the season, A.J. Hinch gets fired. I'm not advocating that he should or shouldn't be. I'm just wondering. Because the Tigers at the end of the day are one of the worst teams in baseball.
Plus 140.
Yeah, I still think it's plus. I'd probably go closer to plus 200, probably maybe like a plus 185.
I would take that.
You would take that. Okay.
I mean, they're gonna they could finish last in the division in what was supposed to be the worst division in all of sports. So if you finish last, I feel like, because remember when we were saying like 10 minutes ago, hey, the rotation's really good, and there's 2 players on this team that have emerged as like kind of stars, McGonigal and Dingler. So why are we way worse? Well, I think it's okay and appropriate at that time to start looking at the manager.
It's pretty messed up. Okay, other stuff going on in the news. We do get another update. This is coming from Ian Rappaport. Stuff going on today. The 18-game schedule in the NFL does not seem to be something that the NFLPA is ready to do. It sounds like there's going to be a holdup as the NFL has been wanting it, but the NFLPA, who is led by J.C. Treader, says that the 18-game schedule is something that the Players Association are not advocating for. So hopefully this gets pushed back further and further, because it sounded like this was going to be a for sure thing. I love football and everything. I think we've gone a little bit too far with extending the season, though. So I'm happy if this stays at 17 games.
I'm happy it stays at 17 because think about Week 18, what it has become. It is all the playoff teams fighting for seeding, if that, and every other team has already been eliminated, and half the teams are trying to lose, or there's like 4 teams that are just sitting everybody. So if you add another game on top of that, it only creates another week for more separation in the standings. And by the time we get to week 19, all the playoff teams are already going to be decided, because that has already happened this season. The gap between the best and the worst teams will have risen already. All of a sudden, you've got 5 different playoff teams or 5 different teams playing a team that's trying to lose. And it just like bogs down the entire standings. I think this would be a terrible idea. I'm glad they're not adapting this as soon as this season.
Yes, 100%. We do have a quote coming from Mark Stein just about this Jalen Duren situation. I thought that this was pretty interesting, so I'll read it here. One more fascinating scenario that we've been advised to not rule out completely. A possible sign and trade run at Boston's perennial all-star Jalen Brown.
Oh my God.
This would certainly require Detroit to be willing to part with restricted free agent Jalen Duren in a sign and trade exchange, which would obviously clash with the Pistons' long-standing view that Duren and Asar Thompson are franchise pillars alongside Cade Cunningham.
We were just talking about this in the break. What if you traded Jalen Duren for Jalen Brown? The Jalens get swapped. So all of a sudden you have Cade, Asar, Jalen Brown, and at that point you probably bring back Tobias Harris, and somehow you can still get Isaiah Hartenstein from OKC. That is a team that can win the Eastern Conference. I don't know if that's possible with the money, though.
I just don't know if I want Jalen Brown. Like, as dumb as that sounds, how good he was.
I don't know what. It's not just a you thing. It's everyone in Boston, too. This fascination with that this guy's not a winning player. I guess I just don't really understand that.
I'll tell you what it is. It's the fact that he is a worse player when he's on the court than when he's off. Or that Celtics are worse when he is on the floor. They are a better team net-wise when he is off the floor.
You don't think he would make the Pistons a better team by being the number 2 option?
I'm just saying.
Taking so much pressure off of Cade Cunningham, being able to stretch the floor. I think that, like...
I just don't know if I want him, is all I'm saying.
All of a sudden you have 2... I mean, he's better than Jalen Duren. You have 2 guys on your team where it's like, you can just give this guy the ball and good things will happen. It's just a matter of what players can you put around him. I mean, he was 5th in MVP voting this year.
He's really good. I don't disagree.
I think that's a team that can win the East.
Yeah,
I just don't know if they could go
is.
get Hartenstein money-wise after they swapped Jaylen Brown for Jalen Duren.
The risk of not knowing who the center is going to be now that you've traded Isaiah Stewart certainly would be concerning. Okay, let's get to the elephant in the room here. Team USA loses last night to Turkey in their third game of pool play 3-2. And they got a really quick first goal, and it was like, man, you don't even got to play Christian Pulisic. They're going to win this thing. They're going to go 3-0. This is going to be awesome. No, they lose. It doesn't really matter, though, because they've already been given their round of 32 matchup. They will take on Bosnia next Wednesday at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara in the round of 32.
Wait. They're playing at the electromagnetic force field? No. Oh, no.
Oh, no, not when they hit. Yeah, and Pulisic did end up suiting up, too, last night, so... Yeah, maybe that's not a good thing. But yeah, they will be taking on Bosnia.
Can we move that game anywhere else? Can we just play it in SoFi?
They should have just stayed in SoFi, yeah.
That's not good.
But yeah, they end up losing last night. Pretty big upset. But like
I blame myself.
Doesn't matter.
I turned it on and it was tied. And I woke up and my TV just was on in my room. I didn't really know what was going on. I was in a haze, and then I found out that they lost. So I think it's my fault because I didn't stay up for it. I blame myself.
It's your fault because you put it as the lock of the day.
That could be it, too.
Obviously didn't hit. Let's do this MLB All-Star thing, and then we will save the rest of the news for later. The MLB All-Star starter finalist got released. Spoiler alert, no Tigers at all in this. And you're like, wait, Dylan Dingler? Why is Dylan Dingler not in it? Why is Kevin McGonigal not in it?
No Dingler is a crime.
Well, this is all the fan voting, and unfortunately, the fan voting is the dumbest thing ever because Shea Langoliers, who deserves one of the two spots, no doubt about it, for the Athletics, is here. And Alejandro Kirk is here of the Toronto Blue Jays, who has 50-some at-bats this year. He's hitting 191. He has 1 home run. He's played in 13 games in the entire season. But he got 1.5 million votes because the Toronto fans, they have so many of them.
Yeah, the fat hobbit got into the game and not Dylan Dingler. Dylan Dingler, 268, 19 home runs, first amongst catchers, 57 RBIs, 879 OPS. Alejandro Kirk, 51 at-bats. You already said it, 196, 1 home run, 6 RBI, 544 OPS. That's a crime against humanity. If the MLB is going to continue to have all of these changes, we're not gambling on player props anymore. We want 6-year max contracts. We want a salary floor. Get rid of the fan voting in the All-Star game because clearly nobody can be trusted to actually put legitimate votes in. And don't get me wrong, it's one thing to just go vote for your guys, but when you have an entire country rallying behind Alejandro Kirk, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and then Kevin McGonigal gets snubbed because Andres Jimenez is the other shortstop along with Bobby Witt Jr., of course, plays for the Blue Jays. Andres Jimenez this year, 232 batting average, 7 homers, 33 ribbies. He's been fine. The Blue Jays had a finalist at every position. Every position they have a finalist
so stupid.
For. Yeah, pretty ridiculous stuff. Hopefully Dylan Dingler can still get in. Hopefully Riley Green can still get in. He did not make it in the outfield either. I don't think McGonigal will.
Yeah, Bobby Witt's a little too good.
Yeah.
Stupid. I do think Dingler will end up being our All-Star.
He should be. I mean, he absolutely should be.
That's it. All right, 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. I'll be honest, I don't really know anything about technology. That's why I trust Link Technology in Midland. They handle all the complicated stuff. I'm talking about IT, cybersecurity, cloud solutions, networking, so you don't have to stress about it. Whatever your business needs, their team knows exactly what to do. They make it easy to understand along the way. That's Link Technology, the experts who keep your business running smooth so you can focus on what you do best.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. On
from the Blazy Electric Studios, this is Sports Radio 100.9 The Mitt. WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. 10 o'clock hour, as always, is brought to you by Air Insurance. They understand not everyone's insurance needs are the same. Tired of your insurance being in a worse position than your fantasy football team in week 3? Well, Air Insurance Group steps in like a clutch pinch hitter and gets you into better insurance position with coverage that actually fits your life. Give them a follow on social media. You'll learn something, maybe laugh a little, and definitely stop overpaying for insurance that's striking out. All right. Jalen Duren reportedly exploring sign-and trade options. This could just be a leverage play on behalf of both Jalen Duren and the Pistons, because if I'm the Pistons and Jalen Duren continues to ask, oh, I want a 5-year, $220 million contract. No. That's not happening. So if I'm Trajan Langdon, knowing that the money is dried up for basically every team out there, knowing that pretty much everybody has no money to spend after the Pistons kind of forced the Lakers' hands by being so interested in Austin Reeves that the Lakers just had to get out in front of it and pay him, and now the Lakers don't have money, I'm telling Jalen Duren, go ahead. Go search. Go see what other teams will give you, because the most amount of money that other teams are going to be willing to pay Jalen Duren, the most amount of money that teams can pay Jalen Duren, by rule, is 4 years, $177 million contracts. Pistons can give him, 5 years, 289?
87, I think. Yeah.
87. So they're not going to even touch that. Every other team.
They can also give him 5 years. No other team can give him a 5-year deal.
Correct. So if I'm Trajan Langdon, I'm saying, yeah, go look for a team that'll give you the max 4-year, $177 million contract. And since every team has ran out of money, other than the really crappy teams at the bottom of the standings, he probably and even if those teams are willing to give Jalen Duren that 4 years, 177, okay, the Pistons just get to match that, and then you're coming back to Detroit, buddy, on a 4-year, $177 million contract. So it sounds to me like the most amount of money that the Pistons are going to have to pay Jalen Duren is the 4-year, 177, which, considering what we thought this guy was going to cost 2 months ago, this is an enormous win for the Pistons in my mind. I don't actually believe he's going to get signed and traded. I think this is leverage play from both sides, and it looks like it's working in favor of the Detroit Pistons.
Is that a win if they end up giving him the 4 for 177? It's like
$30 to $40 million less than we thought he was going to get.
We didn't think he was going to get $40 million more than that, did we?
I thought it could have been 40 might have been aggressive, but I didn't think $200 million was off the table 3 weeks ago.
That's nearly 45 a year, the 4 for 177. That's honestly more than I thought he would have gotten.
Really?
You think Jalen Duren was going to get $45 million this offseason?
I guess, yeah. I figured the 5th year would be in there. I don't know. Do you think any team is even going to be willing to offer him that?
That's what I've been trying to figure out ever since this news happened this morning. Is I'm scouring the teams, and I'm like, okay, is there even a team that, one, can create the money to give him 4 for 177, and then 2, make it beneficial for the Pistons to be like, okay, let's actually do a sign and trade and not match this? Because more than likely what's going to happen is, even if a team is able to create the cap and figure out a way to have enough wiggle room to give him the 4 for 177, okay, the Pistons are just going to match it. So what team is willing to give something back to Detroit where it's actually worth it? And that I just can't seem to figure out. You obviously have the Boston Jaylen Brown situation. That one, sure. That one, we can give that a check to. The Pelicans is one that I'm just never going to rule out, because Troy Weaver, he loves the bigs. He's the guy over there with the New Orleans. Jalen Duren obviously is a player that he really enjoyed. Trey Murphy III is a guy that the Pistons have rumored to be attached to, and we've wanted him for quite some time. If you can get some version of Trey Murphy III, and because of the money, I mean, you need a little bit more money coming back to Detroit in that situation, that'd be sick. I think I'd be cool with that. Outside of that, the Lakers, they've been a team that was talking about Duren earlier this offseason. No. The Clippers, maybe, in a Kawhi Leonard thing, maybe. I just don't know what teams out there are actually willing to give him that number. And so that would be the reason why I'd be like, man, if
it'd
he
be
gets,
like the Nets, right? Just a team with a crazy amount of money.
The Brooklyn Nets, but like what would the Pistons have to, like, are you giving us Michael Porter Jr. and then what we're doing that? We're trading Duren for an expiring Michael Porter Jr.?
Yeah.
No, they would just match it.
You.
They would just match it. So I still would be pretty surprised if he is off the team, because it has to be a deal where not only are you willing to let him go to another team, there has to be enough coming back to you where, like, okay, yeah, we actually are fine with him not being a part of the Pistons going forward. At the end of the day, he is a 22-year-old all-star, all-NBA player. Letting that guy leave in general, just off of that thought, sounds crazy.
And as much as a one-for-one swap with Kawhi makes sense, you also just run out of centers if you trade Duren, and all of a sudden you have one on your team.
And he's on an expiring deal.
Correct. And Kawhi Leonard becomes on an expiring deal.
Like,
and
if you traded
that
Jalen,
he doesn't want to sign a contract extension with the Pistons.
If you traded Jalen Duren for 1 year of Kawhi Leonard, like, fire everybody. For real.
And how many years are left on the Jalen Brown deal?
I think a pretty good amount. Like 3. Because he signed it right after, right
3 years,
right after the Finals MVP season, I believe.
He's got 3 years at 57, 61, and 65.
It's a lot. It's a huge deal.
It's an enormous contract, but
that's the reason why Boston has talked about moving him. Yeah,
and Kata back, or you do the Jalen Brown thing and somehow land Hartenstein. I feel like that's a team that should be favored to win the Eastern Conference. Plus, you take a big hit from. Like, you put a big hit out on Boston and make them a worse team, too. This is the part I just don't understand from the Boston standpoint. The last time these two guys were healthy, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they won the finals. Last time they were both fully healthy, they won the finals. I just don't really understand why they're
And they had Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis.
I know.
They were fully healthy in the playoffs last year and lost to the 7th seed. And on top of it, Jaylen Brown has just openly said that he's been this weird, awkward guy all offseason. Like, there clearly is something flawed there in that relationship between Jaylen Brown and Boston.
I just think if the Pistons were to capitalize on this and go trade for a guy who's been playing like a top 12 player in the NBA, and all of a sudden you match him and Cade up next to each other, two guys that can create their own shot, two guys that you feel comfortable giving the ball to and getting a bucket, I feel like the Pistons suddenly become pretty scary in the Eastern Conference. Now, the problem is you don't have a guy gobbling up rebounds anymore because you traded away Isaiah Stewart, and in this move you'd be trading away Jalen Duren as well. And we also don't even know if the Celtics would be interested in doing this. I guess they do kind of need a big man, but they might recognize all the same flaws in Jalen Duren that we see.
The Celtics have done a really good job of just not talking about this in any way, shape, or form.
We've got nothing from them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's hard to trust any rumors that have come from them because they've tried to keep all the Jaylen Brown stuff as quiet as possible.
Which is that's just the way that they operate.
Yeah.
They always have.
Exactly. Brad earlier chimed in. He said, I'd guess the landing spot is 5 years, $190 million, which would go 33, 35, 38, 40, 43. Yeah.
That'd be a team-friendly deal, too.
But that would be operating under the circumstance that no team, one, has the money to give him the 177 or is willing to do it either. Because Durham would obviously rather sign that.
The 4 years, 177?
Yeah, it's just a much higher per year salary.
So the matching, is that strictly with the AAV? Or does the 5 year trump that? Does the total money trump that?
What do you mean?
Like, if a team's willing to offer him the 4 years, 140 or 177, is the way you up that simply through the?
Well, you don't up it. You just match it, and he's yours.
Oh, you can't up it.
I mean,
guess why
if
would
he
you?
signs a contract with that other team, then yeah, your only option is to match that contract.
Yeah.
Now the alternative would be the Pistons signing him to a deal before he hits restricted free agency. Leading up to Tuesday, which easily could still happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
every other team has signed their guy.
Yeah.
Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu, all these teams are.
Now, it might be a play for
Austin Reeves.
Honestly, if I'm the Pistons and I'm Trajan Langdon, which I respect the route that they're taking here, I'm probably like, you know what, man? Go do you. Go get 4 for 177 from somebody. We'll let you hit the open market. And when you don't, because no team is willing to give you that or has the money to give you that,
we'll have our arms open.
We'll be sitting here waiting with this cheaper deal. And we're excited to bring you back because you were a key part of our team last year and you're a key part of the future. But you're kind of crazy acting like you deserve all this money just because you're eligible for it.
Yeah, just Well, right, and it's like, well, you did make an All-NBA team last year. Okay, do you really want to do this? If I'm Trajan Langdon, I'm saying, do you really want to go through the tape together? Do you want to? I have a TV right behind me. Do you want to turn on the playoffs or no?
And you just want to go through this turmoil when we all know the likely scenario is him ending up in Detroit. You know, like all of this contract stuff is, and obviously it's not Duren himself, it's his agency. Like that's how all of this works. But at the end of the day, like it's still not a good thing to go through this.
Yeah.
We did get a couple other YouTube chats about this. Chris said,
let's come back with those in a second. All right, 989-837-6125. Give people a chance to text in here too regarding the Jalen Duren situation. Would you be down for a sign and trade with him? Do you want him back? Where are you at with Jalen Duren? 989-837-6125. Rainey's Green Thumb, they've been proudly serving the Midland area with family-owned friendly service since 1982, offering everything from fresh floral arrangements and vibrant house and outdoor plant to expert landscape and interior plant service right here in town. They also design, maintain, and install beautiful gardens, ponds, trees, and shrubs, helping both homes and businesses thrive with greenery that lasts. Visit Randy's Green Thumb at Poseyville Road and bring brilliant color, life, and inspiration to your home this season.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mix. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, Kyle, go ahead and read what they were saying in the YouTube.
All right. First off, Chris in the YouTube chat says, I would love a sign and trade for Duren. No way I'm paying $40 million a year for a guy who can't hit a shot from more than 8 feet out or that you can't run a play for at the end of the game.
That is a good way to think about it, too. Like, he's just not an offensive guy to where, like, yeah, you're not drawing up plays for him at the end of the games. We don't have anybody on the team that we're drawing up plays for at the end of the game other than Cade Cunningham, and that play is simply, hey, Cade, catch the ball here, and somebody's going to come set a screen for you, and then there'll be some action elsewhere. And you bring in a guy like Jalen Brown, and all of a sudden you could. But let's not pretend like a sign and trade for Jalen Brown makes this a flawless roster. You'd be subbing one problem for another because then all of a sudden you have 0 guys who can gobble up rebounds.
You just don't have a center outside of Paul Reed.
And Paul Reed plays with some finesse. He's fun. A lot of ways he finishes like a guard. We wouldn't have a rim protector, and we wouldn't have a guy who just like patrols down there, not just on defense, but owns the paint on offense either. They wouldn't have either of those guys because that's not what Paul Reed is. Paul Reed's not a dominant center. He's a guy who does jelly layups and reverse layups, and that kind of stuff is fun for a reserve guy, but you also need someone to go dominate the paint, and the Pistons would run out of guys to do that if they were to trade Jalen Duren. So I don't want to get it confused as if, trading away Jalen Duren fixes all our problems. That's not true.
It fixes potentially an Asar Thompson problem, but you still have to figure out who the perfect big is next to Asar, and trying to get that guy for cheap when you acquire a guy like Jalen Brown who's making crazy money is not going to be easy. Esco says, who would want to trade for Duren? After watching the playoffs, what team would want to pay that kind of money for that type of player? The guy who averaged 10 and 8 in the playoffs or whatever it was.
Maybe a Celtics team to where you're not really asking him to do a whole lot of scoring. Like, you need a role man. You have enough infrastructure and identity outside of Jalen Duren to where all of a sudden you're not really asking him to be a 20 points per game guy anymore. You're just asking him to go gobble up rebounds and score 12 to 15 points a game, and the expectations a little
way
lower.
Better Kada for us.
Yeah. Maybe that's the team that would trade for him.
Potentially.
Maybe Troy Weaver simply because he likes Jalen Duren, and they could just go run Zion and Jalen Duren and Derek Queen together and be the worst team ever.
I could see that.
The way we've made it seem like over the past month or two is that Jalen Duren's like this toxic, horrible, negative asset, and that's not true.
No, it's just the second he gets a contract that's too big, he does become one. He
I
becomes
also
a
have
bad
no
contract
idea if
guy.
he's actually like. Let's say Asar Thompson's not on this team, and we just have another catch and shoot guy. Are we having any of these conversations?
Sure, but like we do have Asar Thompson.
I know,
and we also view him higher.
I know, and I'm saying for other teams that don't have a lack of shooting problem.
Sure, I see what you're saying.
Jalen Duren is
like
more
Boston.
valuable. Correct. Everybody on Boston can shoot outside of the center, Kada. Okay, just replace Kada with a much more valuable, dominant paint player who's 22 years old and just averaged 20 points a game. And I don't think you're going to have that many spacing problems. Whereas the Pistons obviously did have the spacing problems.
Nick in the YouTube chat says, a lot of teams would trade for Duren. They'd look at the regular season and his age and say, our staff can straighten him out. Yeah, I think that's kind of the point that you're making here, too. Like, it's more than just about the playoffs. I know the playoffs are bad and everything, but it's more about that. And then Chris says something pretty funny. Somebody would trade for Duren. There is no shortage of dumb GMs in the NBA. Just ask Trae Young, who got 4 years, $212. Teams like Washington or Sacramento make foolish trades and signings all the time. Yeah. Sacramento just catching a slight there.
Yeah, I mean, there are dumb GMs. There is no doubt about that. I don't think a dumb GM necessarily has to trade for Jalen Duren, though. I think there are some smart GMs that would do it like Boston.
And the Boston thing, it does, like, if they are fully committed to moving Jalen Brown, getting Duren plus other things back feels like their best route.
Well, what else would it be? Would it be Duren plus maybe like a salary to match
Duren,
it?
some picks.
How many picks? That's more so what I'm asking.
I would assume probably like 2 to 3 picks, right?
Duren and 2 firsts for Jalen Brown seems more than reasonable.
With probably like a Levert tossed in there, or maybe even Ron Holland is in the deal.
I don't think we should have to overpay for a guy that they're like begging to trade.
I don't think they are begging to trade. We just talked about how nothing has been really come out about from Boston's side. But if this is the scenario, because I've just been saying, like, I'm with you in the fact that why would you trade Jalen Brown if the return isn't actually making you better? You know, you're doing it for cap flexibility, which I understand that. But I've never understood the whole, like, oh, we're going to trade Jalen Brown to Portland for Milwaukee's picks. Why the hell would they do that? Why would New Orleans trade for Jalen Brown? Like, this one actually might have some validity to it, just from the perspective, yeah, this could still keep Boston good. Like, they're getting a position that they don't necessarily have a great player at right now.
And it's kind of the lone position where they don't have a great player. So I guess if they trade Brown, maybe you can make an argument they don't have a ton of wing depth, but they still have Jason Tatum, who I think going into next year was the second best player in the East.
Yeah, I think he's pretty awesome. Giannis still exists in the East, but
yeah, Giannis. I would say Giannis is number one. A healthy, like full-fledged Jason Tatum is number 2. Brunson probably has to be 3. Cade is 4. And Jalen Brown's probably 5, right? Any pushback on that order?
Neemias Queta is 4?
No, Cade Cunningham.
Yeah, I know.
Any pushback on that list for best players in the East?
No, I think it's fine.
So this would be an opportunity for the Pistons to have 2 of the top 5 players in the Eastern Conference. You probably have to do that. But then, again, like all of a sudden you run into a massive issue of who's getting rebounds for us. Asar is a great rebounder for being a small forward. Cade is a great rebounder for being a guard. You still need someone to go push other bigs around, because otherwise a team like Miami is going to out-rebound you 1,000,000,000,000 every single night with Giannis and Bam. You don't have an answer for either of those guys. You trade Duren for Jalen Brown, Miami might murder you. You don't have a big.
Yeah, Bam and Giannis, they're getting every board ever.
Every single board. And they're
Paul
just
Reed is literally getting, like, he's getting swirlied in the toilet.
And then shoved into a locker. They don't, like, Giannis and Bam would both bulldoze their way. They'd have 70 paint points in the first half. So, if you're going to do this one-for-one trade, you also need another move. Because maybe it's just 100%. Queta back. Maybe it's you go really aggressive and go get Hartenstein as well. But you don't just get to trade for Jalen Brown and pretend like everything's better.
I'm already seeing a good amount of, like, you know, just with this Jalen Duren stuff, some Kawhi Leonard buzz. I know that we've been talking about Kawhi Leonard a lot all week. We got some more news after the show yesterday about Kawhi Leonard. You could have gotten Kawhi Leonard pre-Jalen Duren. This news, you know, like that's the stuff that we're not talking about Jalen Duren sign and trade for Kawhi Leonard right now, are we? Because that was something that could have happened without Duren even being involved. So I don't understand that one at all.
No, I don't think it makes sense to do the sign and trade for Duren for Kawhi if you know you're not only getting 1 year of Kawhi. If you know you're not getting a Kawhi extension, then why would you trade for Kawhi? Now, if it's only a 1 year and you don't have to give up Duren, okay, that's a different conversation. But if I'm throwing Duren in, I'm going to need more than just 1 year out of a 34-year-old small forward. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We're live here on 100.9 The Mitt. We'll take a trip around the league. When we come back, winters in Michigan, they can be cold. Summers, they can be hot. That's kind of the whole vibe of Michigan. And the last thing you want is for your furnace or AC unit to quit on you when the weathers are at their extremes. That's where Answer Heating and Cooling comes in. They get your furnace running efficiently so your home stays warm, stays cozy all year long. And you don't end up wearing 3 sweaters in the winter or throwing on 10 fans in the summer because something's not working right. Fast, professional, reliable. That's Answer Heating and Cooling, keeping Midland homes cozy all year long.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9. on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, let's work in a little bit of football and take a trip around the league.
It's time to zoom out and go around the league.
Okay, Kyle, I want you to quiz me today. I found something and I didn't look at it, but I did get one thing spoiled regarding the Lions in this. Other than that, I have not seen a single thing. So you can go ahead and click on that link.
Oh, I got it. I'm just happy, man. Dude likes quizzing me at football. It's not even my strength, you know? I just want to...
What's your strength?
Basketball, dude. I'm way better at basketball quizzes than football.
Yeah, but football's...
It's like around the league.
Football's awesome.
All right, let's do it.
Go ahead.
You're guessing.
You got to explain to the people what this is.
Oh, I thought you already did. Sorry.
I have not.
Okay, yeah, this is ESPN ranking the best essential weapons groups in the NFL. Wide receiver, tight end, running back groups for 2026. They ranked them all 1 through 32. So what do you want to do, the top 10? 3 strikes kind of thing?
I figured I would try to predict the top 10, and if we have time, I'll try to predict the worst offenses in the NFL too.
Let's do the top 10. I'll give you 3 strikes.
So the number one thing that I only got one thing spoiled for me, and that's because I came across it in a Lions lens, and I did find out that the Lions have the best set of weapons in the NFL on this list. So I figured let's talk about that next segment and whether or not we agree with it. So we'll emphasize the Lions more in the next segment. So I do know that the Lions are number 1, correct?
Correct. Lions are number 1.
Okay, the second best group of weapons in the NFL, tight end, running back, wide receivers, all in consideration.
Now, if you get this one right, then I'm going to start to question if you didn't actually see it or not.
It's fair. I'm trying to think of the best wide receiver duos. You got to go with, guys like the Bengals, guys like the Cowboys guys, but neither of those teams have really awesome running backs. I guess the Cowboys do have. I'll go with Javonte. I'll go with the Cowboys. They've got to be a top 10 team.
They're number 7.
Yeah.
Yes. I have a wrong button. We'll go with that for the correct answer. Yeah, the Cowboys number 7. Ranked 11th last year, but went up because of the big year from George Pickens.
So if A.J. Brown wouldn't have gotten traded, I would obviously have to say them, but I don't think. I'm not sure the Eagles would still be on this list, to be quite frank. You know what? With the Rams having the 2 running backs, Corum and Kyren, and an awesome wide receiver duo, Devontae Adams, who won't age, and Puka Nacua, who might be the best receiver in the NFL at this point, I'll go with the Rams.
Yeah, they're number 2. Which makes sense. I mean, Puka, Devontae's for sure the best duo. Still have a good running back core. Tight ends, whatever, but
the Bears have a lot of guys. They don't quite have an alpha, but there's potential for them to be a top 10 team with Loveland and Swift and the combination of Burden and Odunze. So I'll hold off on them for now. I'll go with the Bengals here. I don't love their running back or tight end, but it's feels crazy to not have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in the top 10.
Yeah.
So let's go with the Bengals.
Yeah, you're overthinking this here. They're number 3.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, they have Jamar and T. Higgins. Like, that's probably the second best wide receiver duo. Second or third.
What about the Cowboys? I feel like I would rather have
really?
CeeDee Lamb than
You'd
Chase
rather have
and
CeeDee
Higgins.
and Pickens and then
I think they're comparable.
Chase and really? All right. They also signed a tight end, too, right? Didn't they bring in a new tight end?
It's not
no, I guess
Gesicki,
they
is
didn't.
it?
No, it still is Gesicki, actually. Eric All, too, former Michigan Wolverine, is going to be hopefully back from his injured season last year. Now is where things start to get a little bit trickier. You're missing the team that was ranked first last year.
I know who it is.
Oh.
With Mike Evans being added to the 49ers room, Kittle, McCaffrey as well, that's a pretty nice trio there. Is it the 49ers?
They are not number 1 from last year, though. They were number 1 2 years ago, 2024. But yes, they're on here. They're number 5. Mike Evans for sure getting added to your plays because their wide receiver room isn't very good pre-signing Mike Evans.
Yeah.
Because Brandon Ayuk is on Instagram. Ricky Pearsall is fine, but really can't stay healthy. But you have Kittle and McCaffrey. Like, screw the wide receivers. You have those two guys.
See, now that you don't have Evans, I don't think it'd be anybody on Tampa. Looking at Atlanta, yeah, I like that trio between Kyle Pitts and Drake London and Bijan, who's perhaps the best running back in the NFL, if you ask a few. I'll go with Atlanta. Are they a top 10 team?
They're number 4.
Yes.
They're number 4. Yep, you got the top 5 already right now. Yeah, Atlanta makes a ton of sense. Even like we were kind of dogging on Pitts, he's still like a relatively good tight end.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like he just shouldn't have been taken 4th overall.
Yeah, for sure. And I think he's overpaid now too, but he's still a better tight end than a lot of the other teams we've already said have. So you got the top 5, and you have number 7 with the Dallas Cowboys. So you're missing number 6, number 8, number 9, and 10. Still missing number 1 from last year.
I don't think it's anybody in. DJ Moore and James Cook is not nothing, but I don't think they're a top 10 unit. Okay, if
no
you're going to tell me
yet either, so you can take a risk.
I think the hint that the number 1 team is still not on there from last year, I'm going to say that has to be the Eagles. Yes.
Yeah. They're on here.
What
They're
are
number
they
9.
ranked?
Number 9.
No A.J. Brown. They think that
that's
highly
pretty
of Mekhi
high,
Lemon.
man. I think that's pretty high.
I do too, because I'd never have like Devontae Smith's a good receiver. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think Devontae Smith's some 1A guy.
I think he might could be, but their other options are Mekhi Lemon, and they signed Hollywood Brown, and Saquon is good. Like Saquon's for sure pretty good, but like
they probably still deserve to be a top 10 team.
I guess especially if you look at some of the teams behind
1 to 9.
them. Yeah, actually looking at some of the teams behind them, I probably would agree.
There are some sickos out there that would tell me the Packers, and they do have a good tight end. They have a great running back in Josh Jacobs.
Is he gonna be out of jail?
Oh, forgot about that one.
Who said that?
You know what? Tell me this: is there an NFC North team on the top 10 that's not the Lions?
I mean, that seems like a pretty massive hint since you only have 3 teams left.
Okay.
No. There is. That's my only answer. So, yeah, you're missing number 6, number 8, and number 10. The reason why I say there is because I do not think you're getting all 3 of these.
I'll go with the Packers.
Green Bay Packers not only are not the NFC North team on here, they are the last ranked NFC North team at number 17. They were number 17 last year and the year before. They're just chilling at 17. Tucker Kraft is coming off the ACL. Christian Watson is coming off of whatever torn ACL he's got. Jaden Reed is whatever.
I'll take the Bears then.
Okay. Chicago Bears, strike 2. They're number 15. I mean, the Chicago Bears, what are we talking about here, man?
I guess Hawkinson's still in Minnesota.
They have DeAndre Swift as their running back.
The Vikings have Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones can't run 6 yards.
Like Swift is crazy better than Aaron Jones?
He's certainly better than Aaron Jones.
You know who's crazy better than who? Justin Jefferson's crazy better than Rome Odunze.
Okay, Vikings.
Yes, correct.
Now
The
I'm
Vikings.
playing with fire.
Vikings are on here. They are number 8. So you're missing the final 2 spots with only 1 strike remaining. I'll give you 3 strikes total, so you can still get 1 more wrong. We'll bend the rules a little bit because these last 2 are hard. Number 6 and 10. I'll give you this hint. Each conference, you're going each conference here.
Okay.
God, one of these, the fact that they are number 6.
I don't think it's the Bills. I don't think it's the Patriots.
Do you want me to give you another good hint? I'm just going to do it. One of these teams, I won't tell you which one, AFC or NFC. One of these teams was really good last year. One of these teams was really bad last year.
I mean, the Patriots do have A.J. Brown, and they've redone their whole room with Dobbs in there, too. People like Henderson. It's a team that was really good. The Broncos have Waddle and Sutton now.
One of those 2 teams you just said is one of them, Ben.
I'll go with the Patriots.
Boom, you got it. Patriots number 10. They were 30th last year.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they should have been.
They were terrible, yeah. But their running back duo ended up being pretty fine, and obviously adding A.J. Brown is like the huge part here. Still might be a little too high, honestly, but I guess looking at the teams behind him, it's not that big of a deal. Number 6. All right, you've got. This is it. You either get it or you don't with one strike left. This is obviously an NFC team, as I gave you one or the other.
No way it's Seattle with only like one true guy out there.
It's not Seattle.
I already said the Rams. I already said the 49ers.
Seattle is 11, though. Seattle just missed out.
It's certainly not Arizona.
It is kind of interesting looking at these, and I'm like, Seattle's 11, but it's like you look at the teams behind them, it's like, yeah, some of these weapons groups in the NFL, there's just not a lot of crazy good ones.
Well, you said one of them was bad. There's just no way it's Arizona, even with Jeremiah Love and Michael Carter and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Trey McBride. Oh, my God, it's Arizona, isn't it?
Yeah. The Arizona Cardinals are number 6. McBride for sure carries this, like having McBride, but
the idea of Marvin Harrison, the idea of him carries
still just feels really high, does it not?
Yeah, it does.
Over like Dallas, and I mean, I'll give like Michael Wilson had a really good end of the year. Love is like could be really good.
It feels crazy to have a rookie that high.
Number 6 though. Hey, you nailed it though.
Where is Las Vegas? If Arizona's 9 and Vegas has 6. They're 6 or they're 9?
They're 6.
Oh, my God. If Arizona's 6, then what is a team like Vegas who has an equivalent tight end in Bowers and...
Name a wide receiver on their team, though. Name one.
The TCU guy.
Yeah, name him. Yes, you know what I mean? Like, that's
what
like... Because I don't think I could either.
Beck? Something Beck.
Oh, Jack Beck?
I think. Jack Beck.
They are ranked 26th. They also signed Jalen Naylor. Their receivers are Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor, Jack Beck, Dante Thornton.
Just rip through who are the
worst
10
teams.
through 15.
Can you just name the worst team, though? This team was ranked 10th last year. Miami. They were 10th. And then they were 3rd the year before. But obviously they lose Waddle and Tyreek. They still have Achane, though. I mean, like, that's something.
But who is a single receiver on that team?
Right. 10 through 15. Or 11 through 15. Seattle's 11. New York Jets are 12. New Orleans Saints 13 with them drafting Jordan Tyson in round 1. Indianapolis Colts 14. And Chicago Bears are the 15 team.
Where is the Giants?
Giants are the second worst, 31. Which is tough because are they working under the impression that Neighbors is just not healthy?
They have to be.
Because that feels really low. I know like their wide receiver group outside of Neighbors isn't great, but like...
What do you mean? They have Odell Beckham Jr.
They have... They have a solid running back duo. Like Scatterbo and Tracy is like not bad.
Who are the 5 worst?
You got Dolphins worst, Giants, Cleveland Browns, which totally agree. Another one of those teams. Name a wide receiver. Still have Judy though. Buffalo Bills are here. So the Bills weapons group is still really bad.
That seems like a little disrespectful on James Cook.
Yeah, I would agree. And like Shakir is like now that he's wide receiver 2, like a fine wide receiver 2, more not the best wide receiver 1. And then the Carolina Panthers and Washington Commanders. But once they add Brandon Ayuk, though, you never know.
Right. 989-837-6125. That is around the league today. You guys can see us live on YouTube, by the way. See the difference at Midland Eye Care, where your vision is their focus, offering comprehensive eye exams, glasses, contacts, and advanced eye health services. Friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a wide selection of stylish frames for every face and budget. Book your appointment today and start seeing clearer tomorrow at Midland Eye Care.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
So on that list that we just did, the Lions were ranked as the best set of weapons in the NFL, which is a train that you and I have been on for quite some time. I think even dating back to a year ago, we were saying this. With the emergence of Jameson Williams, with Sam Laporta being about as reliable of a target as you can possibly imagine as a tight end. May not be one of the 2 or 3 best tight ends in the NFL, but he's not outside of the top 5, I don't think. J-Mo is perhaps, there's at least an argument, the best wide receiver 2 in the NFL. He probably isn't, but in terms of guys you'd rather have going forward, I think there's a pretty good argument that he is. You're competing with George Pickens. You're competing with T. Higgins, Devontae Adams. I think J-Mo's right in that conversation with those guys. And then Amon-Ra St. Brown, whose numbers speak for themselves. He's been kind of undisputedly the most productive receiver in the NFL over the past 3 seasons. And then, of course, you have Gibbs, who is one of the favorites to win Offensive Player of the Year this year. Do you think they have the best set of weapons in the NFL? Do you think that was an accurate list, having the Lions number 1? Because I am fully on board with this, and it's something I've been saying for quite some time.
I think so, because they check every box. Like, to have the best group of weapons in the NFL, you need to have one, like, solid, at least a solid guy at every single spot. You know, a team like Dallas has, the 2 wide receivers, elite, which is great. The tight end is pretty good in Jake Ferguson, but then the running back is like, Javonte Williams is fine. You know, like, and then you look at the other teams that are right behind them. The LA Rams, I think a similar situation there. Elite wide receiver duo, elite running back duo, I would say too, like as far as having 2 of them. The tight end is fine. Whereas the Lions check all of those boxes and, hey, you have a really good wide receiver room, you have the best running back, and you have a pretty good tight end, and that's the other box that they check. You also have to have a top-tier guy, because you can be a team like that has pretty good guys at every spot, but you don't have the 1A, this guy might be the best guy at his position in the league guy. They also have that with Jahmyr Gibbs. And so the fact that they check all of those boxes, I don't think there's a lot of debate here as far as who else it could be. We've mentioned those other teams. I just don't see a conversation for a Bengals or Rams or Cowboys to even the Falcons, who are kind of just a budgeted version of the Lions in this category.
Yeah.
Like
they don't have the second receiver.
Exactly. Like Drake London, pretty good. I think there's an argument to be made that London is like close to St. Brown level. I'm not making it, but there's an argument there. There's an argument that Pitts and Laporta are like on the same level. I'm not making it, but it can be made. The wide receiver too, name him. You know, like
Darnell Mooney, is he still
do
there?
They even have him anymore? Yeah, like I don't even know. So yeah, I think it's definitely them.
The only counter to why they can't be the best set of weapons in the NFL is they didn't even make the playoffs last year, which is not a terrible argument. My counter to that would be,
I mean, they
didn't have an offensive line.
The weapons don't control it either, you know?
Their offensive line was awful last year. Their weapons can't thrive if nobody can block for Jared Goff. Plain and simple. And this year you would think, in theory, they're going to be a much improved offensive line with adding a first-round pick to the mix, moving Penei Sewell over to the left side, and their loan contract that they've handed out this offseason that was a multi-year deal, being Cade Mays to play center for them. Like, I have no doubt about it. They're going to be a better offensive line. It's just a matter of how upgraded is it actually going to be.
They're also one of like the weird teams where their group of weapons are not because of how good the quarterback is. Like, and this is not a slight on Jared Goff by any means, but like the weapons group is better than the quarterback, right?
For sure.
Whereas
a
team
we
like
just ranked them number 1.
Where
Jared
a team
Goff's not
like the Rams, man, the weapons group is great. They also have the MVP quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The Bengals, man, their wide receiver duo is great. They also have Joe Burrow. The Falcons fit into that as well. The Falcons really fit into that because their quarterback is actually just bad, whereas the Lions have a really good quarterback. They just don't have the S-tier elite quarterback.
Yeah, Jared Goff's like Rajon Rondo in his prime. It's not like
he's got
Rondo
Pierce
was ever,
and Garnett, and
yeah, it's not like
he was a good one.
It's not like he was ever the best point guard or best player in the league, but like, oh, we have Rondo? Oh, if we just put good pieces around him, a good offensive line and a good, like you said, Allen and Garnett and Pierce, like, yeah, he's gonna rock. And that is exactly what Jared Goff has done for 3 consecutive seasons. He's played like an MVP candidate, even though we know he's not truly one of the best receivers in the NFL or one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. But if you give him the best set of weapons, his numbers at the end of the season, there is now 3 years of evidence of it. He's just going to put up numbers that make him look like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I mean, he is one of the best, but like,
yeah. But he's not like we said, he's
tier.
not Stafford, Burrow, and even like you see how the Bills are ranked so low on this. It's because Josh Allen. I mean, like he makes you thought about putting them higher. Well, no, Josh Allen makes those guys look good.
Yeah.
You know, the Chiefs' weapons group is not. We didn't even mention them in that exercise.
I mean, ever since they moved on from Tyreek Hill, it's just been like
doesn't matter.
Receiver by committee. Mahomes just kind of figures it out.
Exactly. Man, that Rondo comparison, that might be the best comp you've ever made. I like
Really?
that. That's pretty good, dude.
Jared Goff to Rajon Rondo. This is the best comp I've ever had.
I think it's
cross
good.
Sport
I think
comparison of who had modern day quarterback and a guy who's been retired for years.
The cross sports comparisons are hard to do. The pop culture to sports comparisons are difficult to do.
And it's a white guy to a black guy. It's hard to do.
Yeah,
those
you
too.
didn't. You didn't say he's Jason Williams.
I did the biracial.
That's good because
pretty good.
that's the hardest part. You know, everyone always just like, yeah, he's Manu Ginobili. Come on, man. You're only saying that because he's white.
And he's European.
Yeah.
Big
I'll
take
white
this
guy.
one to the
He's
grave.
Jokic. It's like it's like, and I will throw this out here because it's a Friday. And
Derek Queen used to get some Jokic ones.
That's
that
true.
Was a good
he got some
biracial
Şengün
one.
ones. That Şengün I thought was a really good biracial comparison for him. I'll throw this out there and then we'll end this. My pop culture to sports take lately is
Okay.
that Olivia Rodrigo is Tim Duncan. That's mine.
I mean, you have like 30 seconds to explain this before
so she
the break
has
comes.
come on the scene.
This is good.
Right out of the draft, boom, championships. And now the question is like, can she sustain this? Because when Tim Duncan came out and was like, boom, this guy won a finals MVP in year 2 and he's going to win a bunch of rings. No way he does this for a whole career, right? This is crazy. But also still kind of under the radar where there's other superstars in the league.
Like maybe
Sabrina Carpenter,
Yeah,
Taylor
this is
Swift.
good.
There's other superstars in the league, but she's underappreciated still despite her dominance.
Wow.
Okay, you can go to break now.
That's really good, Kyle. All right, we'll be back with the 11 o'clock hour when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.
WLUN, Pinconning Bay City, Saginaw, Midland.
Have you given up on the Detroit Tigers season? Yesterday was one of those losses to where it's a little unforgettable, a little unforgivable as well. Troy Melton has this spectacular outing. He was lights out, vicious type of outing. Perfect through 5 innings, gets through another out in the 6th, ends up giving up a solo shot. No big deal. You only give up 1 run the entire day, 5 Ks, no walks. Tigers won the game, right, Kyle? They had to have. That was such a good outing.
They had to have.
But they didn't, because their offense was non-existent until the 9th inning, until Dylan Dingler hit his 19th home run of the year. It was a solo shot, and the Tigers lose 1-2. It's one of those games. It's just like it's crushing to anyone who still has any sort of hope to this team, because, again, you look at the games back. Oh, they're only 5 games back. Yeah, but there's 7 teams ahead of them in the standings. There's 4 teams tied for that final wild card spot. And then there's 2 other teams. So I guess there's 6 teams ahead of them in the standings. They're not passing all those teams. If they're 5 games back, that would require 6 teams to just have a collapse. That's not going to happen. There's a false sense of security in those standings, unfortunately, because you have to start beating those teams ahead of you. And if they lose tonight, the very best they can do the rest of this season with Houston is tie the season series. And eventually you got to start blowing the doors off of these teams that are in front of you and winning the season series against them, because odds are tiebreakers are going to matter with how close this wild card race is. They can't win a series against any of these teams. So I don't know why I'm supposed to believe that they can continue to claw their way back into it if they can't beat the teams ahead of them in the standings, and they don't have the tiebreaker over any of these teams, and they cannot win on the road. Yesterday was one of those losses. I know I've said this a couple times throughout the course of the year, but yesterday was one of those gut-wrenching, unforgivable losses to where it's just a nice reminder of, yeah, man, we're not going anywhere. 2 straight losses, got to stop the bleeding. Nope, not able to do it. You score 1 single run, and now you've lost 3 straight. All the momentum that you built up at the beginning of June, the work that you made to cut into the division deficit and the wild card deficit, all of that's gone now, man. You lost 3 in a row. And you know what this team's going to do? They're going to bounce back. They're going to win 3 straight somehow. They always do. I'm out. I'm done with this Tigers team, Kyle. I don't believe in them anymore.
Yeah, I haven't believed in them for a while. And I hope that this now allows all Tigers fans to shift their perspective to this as well. I understand it's not fun to root for a team that, one, you don't want to root for them to lose, but 2, you don't want to just root against a team that it might have a chance to get back into this or whatever. And it's the final year probably of Tarek Skubal, so you want to enjoy it as much as you can. How can you enjoy it after games like last night? You know, like games like last night, it went from this potential incredible feeling to the second the solo home run was given up. I think I texted you in our Tigers chat. I was like, they're going to lose this game, aren't they?
Oh, for sure.
I went from being like, Troy Melton is killing right now. And like, shout out to Tatsuo Amai of Houston as well, because he was dominant in the same exact way, but he didn't pitch the whole game either. You know, like they could have got to the Houston relievers a little bit earlier. And you went from feeling like, wow, Troy Melton, man, what an awesome start this has been to his 2026. It makes you feel better, yes, about the Tarek Skubal trade, but this game in general, like, I can't believe that he has been on this pace ever since coming back from the injured list to start the season. The second he gives up the solo home run, I'm going from thinking this guy might throw a perfect game to, oh, they're just going to lose the game? And then they did.
Yeah, it's been a very disappointing stretch here for the Tigers. I will say, too, to your point about Troy Melton's outing in general, he leads the team in ERA and WHIP now. It does make me feel very comfortable, at least more comfortable, a sense of security in justifying trading for Tarek Skubal. Not that there wasn't a justification in that anyway with the way that this Tiger season has went, but the fact that you kind of have an ace in waiting in Troy Melton, someone who has that sort of potential, I think the most impressive advanced stat with him is the fact that nobody's really hard hit him this year. He's got one of the best hard hit rates for a pitcher in baseball. Doesn't really walk anybody either. So there is a little bit of a sense that maybe this guy, as soon as the end of this year, can look some sort of like an ace. Nobody's going to be Tarek Skubal, but there's a lot of upside in what Troy Melton has brought to the table already in his career. Even last year when he was coming out of the pen, now he's as a full-fledged starter, just dominant. So I do feel pretty comfortable trading Tarek Skubal and trying to get 4 or 5 players back in return. 5 might be aggressive, but bats that can contribute to the lineup and another arm to supplement losing Skubal, because you have a guy like Troy Melton who you could potentially count on next year to be your ace, and maybe Jackson Jobe, whatever that looks like.
Yeah, 100%. The Jobe piece is important because I will once again advise Tigers fans to use the current situation and spin it positively. You can do that because think about what the pitching future of this team could look like at this point. Troy Melton, Jackson Jobe going forward. Like, that in itself has got me pretty excited. 2 pretty awesome young right-handed arms. Melton has exceeded expectations to a point where,
for sure,
we have continued to say, you and I were 1A and 1B, the founders of the Troy Melton fan club. I don't even know if I thought he was going to be, like, legit the best pitcher on the team right now.
Yeah. It's
just right now. It's hyperbolic, sure. Tarek Skubal's on the team. I get it.
Even throughout the course of the season, now that like nobody has fully stayed healthy other than Fromber,
Yes.
I still think it's Melton.
From his first start of the season to now, he has just been the best pitcher on the team. That in itself is pretty crazy. Jackson Jobe, I thought, showed really important flashes before his injury last year, and the fact that he was the highest pitching prospect in baseball for a good amount of time, I still feel very confident that he's going to be a really good pitcher in this league. And so you have that, plus whatever you're going to get in the Tarek Skubal trade, assuming at least one of those guys is a solid pitcher, which from every single mock trade I've seen of Tarek Skubal involves that. So you have those 3 guys, plus a Reese Olson, plus, hey, maybe you do decide to bring back Casey Mize. By the way, Fromber Valdez is still on the team. Like, this doesn't need to be this massive retool rebuild that takes 5 years like the last one did.
But
this doesn't have to be that.
But it will if you don't capitalize. And I don't mean trade or not trade. I mean get the right return package. Because when you did this in 2017 with Justin Verlander, you failed at it so miserably that it did require a full rebuild, a full reset, a full retool that took a whole decade. Now, learn from your mistakes, because there is a world, as scary as this is, where you trade Tarek Skubal, you get nothing back in return, and bam, you're doing a rebuild. There's also a world, like you just laid out, where you don't have to do that, and the players you get back in return are stars in this league. That's a possibility too. It's on Scott Harris to identify who those players are so that you don't trade him for absolutely
100%.
nothing like you did with Justin Verlander. You got Jake Rogers back in return.
And I do keep seeing people make the case that like they should try to trade Skubal now rather than, because you're getting, whoever trades him is getting him for an additional month, an additional 4 or 5 starts. I understand the thought process. If I'm the Tigers, though, I want Skubal to have like a really good start before I trade him. It has not been flowers and roses or whatever you call it.
I also want teams to get more and more like hungry to. Teams just get hungrier at the deadline.
You would just be kind of accepting your first real offer if you did that right now, and they can still play the card of like, oh, but we want to see what happens over the next month. Maybe we don't trade him, which I think is the right thing to say, by the way. I see Tigers fans getting upset about that.
These fans take every word that these GMs say and these coaches say for word.
The Tigers have to be like, oh, why would we trade Skubal? We still have a chance to get back in the wild card. We're going to see what happens. They should say that because then the teams are going to pay a little bit more, hopefully.
Correct. If you come out and say, yeah, we're trading Tarek Skubal, what is it like? What good does that do you for a team?
100%. So, yeah, I'm with you in the fact that this could be, and I understand it's a difficult thing to do when you're in the middle of a season and being like, yeah, but think about next season, because that does feel like something that, not a loser mentality, but you're just clawing at trying to find positive things out of it. But truly, this could be, like, the opportunity that's in front of you with it is amazing because of how Melton has pitched. Like, based off of last night and the way that he has exceeded throughout his entire season, the pitching core looks fun despite having no good prospects left pitching-wise for the Tigers. And just prospects in general are pretty dry outside of Max Clark at this point. So that has to be the play.
I'm with you. 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show. We are live here on 100.9 The Mid. 11 o'clock hour is brought to you by Yater Insurance. Life happens fast, and at Yater Insurance Group, they're here to make sure you're covered every step of the way. Locally owned in Midland for decades, they treat you like family, not just another policy number. From home and auto to business and life insurance, it's Yiter Insurance that has the right coverage to keep you insured perfectly how you need them. Yiter Insurance Group, they'll be there when you need them since 1940. Let's wrap up the Jalen Duren, Jaylen Brown conversation when we come back.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair.
Ladies and gents, the Pistons have made a trade.
Whoa!
They've done it. We thought Trajan Langdon might have been dead. No, the Pistons have made a trade. Don't worry, Jalen Duren has not been moved. Jalen Duren's still a Piston for now. But the move that the Pistons just made makes me a little nervous because they traded with the Oklahoma City Thunder.
What?
They made a deal with the Devil. Which always is just going to make me nervous because how many teams have won a trade with OKC over the past few years? Like none. I do like this player, though. They're getting sharpshooter Isaiah Joe for 2 second-round picks. So essentially they turned Isaiah Stewart into Isaiah Joe. We're doing the Jalen's flipping each other, and we're doing the Isaiahs.
Wow.
They trade 2 second-round picks for Isaiah Joe, which essentially means they traded 1 second-round pick and Isaiah Stewart for Isaiah Joe. Or no. They traded Isaiah Stewart and got a second-round pick and Isaiah Joe, right? Would be how you spin that.
They are net down 2 second-round picks in this offseason because they traded 3 second-round picks to move up.
Correct.
Yeah.
So they end up getting a really fun offensive player in Isaiah Joe, a guy who sharpshooter, stretches the floor, which is exactly what they need. 6'4", so another small guy. So between Danis,
a 2-guard, yeah,
Isaiah Joe, Abuka Akori now, and who's the last one? There's one more small guy. Or did I name them all? Yeah, I think that's all.
Yeah, I mean, Sasser, did you say him?
Well, Sasser's like for sure just
still
not
on
the team anymore.
Right.
He'll be packaged with somebody. I do a little bit worry about the size, but that does make me think it's no longer Norm Powell. That's certainly not what's going to be happening. This is a former NBA champion, a guy that, like I said, sharpshooter, used to play for Philly, end up going to OKC. Been in the league a little longer than I necessarily expected, but 4 straight seasons where he shot over 40% from downtown. I like this move.
Yeah, and
the only thing I don't like is trading with OKC because that feels like we didn't really give up anything. So I have no complaints.
I have no complaints at all. I think this is an amazing move. He's a top 10 3-point shooter in the NBA this year, percentage-wise. He's been in that top 10 to 15 percentage-wise, like you said, for X amount of years in a row, 4 years in a row under OKC. Been a huge piece of them throughout the regular season. Come playoff time, his minutes do go down a little bit just because they have they just have better guys, straight up. Like a guy like Cason Wallace, Caruso, those guys are going to get more minutes in the playoffs. But yeah, Joe, this is a super fun signing because he is an elite catch-and-shoot guy, which is exactly what the Pistons need. This also, just off of the top of my head, makes me think that the whole Duncan Robinson salary dump thing that we know teams are going to value this offseason is probably more likely than not to be moved off of, just because Joe and Robinson each fill that same similar role of lights-out three-point shooter. As far as Isaiah Joe's contract right now, going into next season, it is $11 million and then a team option for $11 million again. So could be 2 more years of this deal. If he shoots the ball really well, that $11 million is totally going to get picked up, which is very exciting. So you have potentially 2 more years of Isaiah Joe. Makes it a lot easier to throw Duncan Robinson into another trade.
I like this move, though, dude. It really makes me wonder where Danis Jenkins' role is if they already have.
Who cares, right?
Yes, correct.
Joe is not a point guard either. Let's get that clear. Isaiah Joe is an off-ball wing, 100%. This doesn't them getting Isaiah Joe doesn't affect Danis Jenkins.
But I think the combination of Isaiah Joe and Abuka Akori affects Danis Jenkins for sure. How many 6'4" guys can you actually have at the end of the day? I'm trying to limit the number of players on my basketball team that are under 6'5", and right now the Pistons theoretically have 3 of them that are in the rotation. I don't love that. But again, you shouldn't be worried about Danis Jenkins when trading for a guy that's just better than Danis Jenkins, right? So I don't know.
100%.
Maybe Danis Jenkins is a guy who ends up being in a trade for something else as well. I don't think this can be the only move, though, right? There has to be an additional move to this to make me actually feel really good about this offseason.
Honestly, this move being made makes me think there is more to come.
Correct. Yes.
This almost guarantees that there's more to come. Because
you didn't have to. You also added a little bit of salary. You didn't clear that up, but you still are net negative salary from the Isaiah Stewart deal.
You didn't clear up the Isaiah Stewart salary just to go trade for Isaiah Joe. You know?
Right.
So that means there's definitely more to come. Joe was cheaper than Stewart was still. Also, he's got
not by much, by $4 million.
Maybe it's a little sketch.
You like the 2 first names, or you don't like the 2 first names?
I typically don't trust a guy with 2 first names, but at least Joe is the last name, which is pretty funny.
Where does this stem from, the 2 guys with first names?
You can never trust a guy who has 2 first names. Everybody knows that.
Give me an example.
Isaiah Joe.
Give me a second example.
Nolan Ryan. You can't trust those guys.
This is news to me. I do like this. I think the number one thing if you got to know one thing, if you're going to the bar tonight, hanging with some buddies, Pistons traded for Isaiah Joe, traded 2 second-round picks for do it. Lights out 3-point shooter. Absolute sniper rifle from behind the arc.
Over 6 attempts per game the last 2 years, over 42% last year, 41 the year before. Like
over 40% for 4 straight years. That's incredible.
In a limited role, too. Like, comes off the bench, plays around 20 minutes a night. He's been relatively healthy. He's played 70-plus games in all 4 years in OKC.
Kyle, is this like a version of the microwave? The microwave Vinny Johnson who just comes in and lets it rip off the bench?
One up a lot, yeah.
Vinny Johnson? I bring up Vinny Johnson a lot?
Not everyone has to be Vinny Johnson. But sure, he could be. He also could start.
If they move off from Duncan Robinson, yeah, that's potential. He only started 9 games last year and 16 the year prior. He's not truly a starter.
Okay, yeah, but he's on the Thunder. The Thunder just have wings galore.
Sure. Yeah, I think ideally he's not your starting lineup.
I agree.
On a championship team, Isaiah Joe's coming off the bench.
Yeah.
As we've seen.
And I don't think this is something you have to be worried about, like you said, about, oh, man, did we just get finessed by the Thunder? No one should trade with the Thunder.
We didn't give up anything.
This is a salary dump, which they did with Aaron Wiggins already. And we said, oh, man, but they didn't get in on Aaron Wiggins. That stinks. Because they wanted to get in on Isaiah Joe.
Yeah, usually the Thunder are the team that are finessing because they're trading for a guy that they like. That's where they really get you. Oh, you want Paul George? Okay, give us Shea. Kind of like him.
And 1,000 picks.
And we're not giving up a player for this. It's 2 second-rounders for Isaiah Joe so they can dump his salary. I know some person's probably thinking, why we want a guy who's simply just a salary dump. Well, Isaiah Stewart was a salary dump.
The Thunder
that's still
also
a valuable player.
Yeah, the Thunder have to do it to get below the apron, yeah.
I like this deal, man. I think this is, in a vacuum, an A deal. Now, is it off-season, prized move?
Yeah, if this is the big move.
It's an F.
Also, hey, you know what this might eliminate? And it doesn't. Does this eliminate Norman Powell?
Yeah, it does.
You think it for sure does. Isaiah Joe?
You can't bring in a 4th guy in your rotation who's 6'4". You can't have 4 guys of your 11 players that play that are 6'4".
I'm not asking in your brain. I'm saying, does this eliminate it happening at all?
I think it does.
Okay.
Yeah, unless it's unless the Miami Heat are no, Norm Powell's just a free agent, right? Yeah, I don't think you can do this.
Gary just said Matt Patricia for a guy with 2 first names. That's a different one. That's a 2 first names of a male and female name. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry to get off topic there.
That's good. I like this. This is a good move for the Pistons. So, what was his? It was 12 years that they brought back, or $12 million. Or he's on the books for 11.
11.3 this, and with a club option next year, same exact thing.
And this is a nice contract to have too, because it's a very tradable contract to upgrade for somebody else. Not just because of the price, but the expiring theoretical money for 2 consecutive seasons. So if you're looking to just throw in some money, teams are looking for an expiring money to free up some cap space for the offseason, you get to say that 2 years in a row with him because you could just dump his salary for at any point throughout this season.
I really like this move. Isaiah Joe is just a guy that in the playoffs, he's a playoff player. And I know that I said in the playoffs for the Thunder he played less, but that's just from the Thunder standpoint. If he was on any other team in the playoffs, he gets way more run just because of his ability to strap from deep. So this is for the Pistons, he would have helped extremely in their playoff series. This also probably for sure eliminates any version of Malik Beasley coming back to the Pistons.
Yeah.
So if anyone is still riding with that rumor, that can be waxed now.
All right, let's hit some more news when we come back. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. The show, as always, is brought to you by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. Tee it up at Sandy Ridge Golf Course, Midland's Hidden Gem, where every round feels like a little bit of a getaway. Now featuring a brand new clubhouse, part lounge, part hangout, all class, perfect for cooling down or talking smack after 18. Smooth greens, scenic fairways, and enough birdies to make your buddies jealous. Whether you're a weekend warrior or just there for the vibe, Sandy Ridge brings the game and the chill. Book a tee time, plan your outing, just stop by and pretend you know how to read a green. At Sandy Ridge Golf Course, the hidden gem that's way too good to stay a secret. I should also tell you about these dang bugs, man. The temperatures in Michigan are rising, which means it is termite season. And many homeowners don't even realize that there's a problem until damage has already been done. At Four Seasons Exterminating, we offer professional termite inspection treatment to help protect your home before major damage is done, along with personal pest control, lawn care, mosquito treatment, bedbug services, and more. Call Four Seasons Exterminating today or visit the website and schedule your inspection.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building. Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. I love this move for the Detroit Pistons. Isaiah Joe is officially on the team. Just got a text that said, is Devin Booker still a trade possibility? No, he never has been. I just please stop asking about the Devin Booker thing. He's not getting moved, and he's not going to be on the Detroit Pistons. Promise.
Man, dude hates Devin Booker.
I don't hate Devin Booker.
Dude hates the guy texting about Devin Booker.
I don't hate that guy either. I'm trying to let everyone know that it's just not realistic, and it never has been realistic that we're going to get Devin Booker to come to Detroit. Never has been. If anybody tells you that that's the move that they're looking for, they lack ballage. Here is the news.
The Mits Morning Catch.
They lack ballage.
Ball
That's
knowledge.
Right. They're not a guy, no ballagist, that's for sure. Okay, let's get into the news. First off, let's look at the community calendar presented by Bresky Siding and Building Repair. The Commons Live music series continues tonight, 7 to 9 p.m. It's Air Margaritaville, so another some more Jimmy Buffett-style music. I know John would be interested in that. Too bad he's in Lansing calling the Loons game. And they've been hot this week, by the way. So if you want to go check that out, you can go see that tonight. In the Commons, downtown Midland here from 7 to 9 p.m. We got some more news involving Michigan basketball last night. Positive news, that is. Elliot Cadeau announces via Instagram he ain't going anywhere. He's coming back, which is the most important thing. We had discussed this earlier this week with Brian Bush, the voice of men's basketball for Michigan. The most important thing for Mike Boynton Jr. and the Wolverines is to bring back Elliot Cadeau and Trey McKinney, and everything else will probably fall into place. They've got those two guys back, which is the best news there is.
That's the core, right? Elliot Cadeau and Trey McKinney, your backcourt.
Returners from last year, obviously.
Whether or not they have every single person back, it remains TBD, but I think this is a pretty good start in keeping together everybody.
100%.
Got to keep these guys first and foremost.
So, big news there for the Wolverines. Okay, we did get some more news. You mentioned this earlier, but we haven't really talked about it. With the MLB PA's proposal, we saw some of the MLB's proposal with saying 5-year contracts, this and that. Well, from the Players Association, they are proposing a ban on prop bets for individual players in baseball. Essentially, hey, you can't bet on the Riley Green 2+ hits plus run plus RBI. You can't do this and that. You can only bet on, Nerfy and
How are we going to do for
money
lock
line, over under, all of that stuff. They want to get rid of individual player prop bets. Thoughts?
The hell are we going to do for lock of the day?
It's probably good for you, honestly.
It's probably a good thing for the league overall, just with what's happening with the pitching.
Good thing for people overall.
With what's happened with a couple pitchers from Cleveland over the last few years and rigging some of those lines. I don't hate it. I think the other things are more interesting, like the 5-year contracts and the 6-year contracts.
I will say it's very similar. Like, people will still illegally bet player prop bets if they ban them on your main sportsbook websites.
For sure.
So obviously it would still go down, I think, but this is a trend that we have seen. The college basketball, college football, people have been advocating for that as well in college. Like, you should not be able to do the individual prop bets. So this is something that has been coming for quite some time. We'll see if it happens. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff involved in the new agreement between the MLB and the Players Association, so this is just kind of an added wrinkle into it. More stuff going on in the news. Prosecutors to argue that Lions cornerback Terrion Arnold should be jailed until trial. There was a picture yesterday of kind of the beginning of all of that. He remains in jail right now as far as everything going on there, and the prosecutors are going to argue that he should be there until a full trial is set. So we'll continue to give updates throughout that, but
And that starts on Monday, I believe.
it does start Monday. Okay, so I would assume he probably is going to be there throughout the weekend, but we'll see. In the WNBA last night, Marina Mabrey matched the all-time scoring record, 53 points, to help the Toronto Tempo dominate the LA Sparks 125-97. The 53 points tied Liz Cambage's record, which it's obviously still stays from 2017 or 18. So, yeah, big-time stuff. 53 ball in the WNBA last night from one of the new teams as well.
It's impressive. It really is.
More stuff in the news. Did you see this this pick that the Clippers had in the second round of the NBA draft? I'm so going to butcher this guy's name. Narcisse Ngoy? Yeah, I had no idea how to say this guy's name. 57th pick, though, in the draft. And he did not declare for the draft. He was just eligible for the draft based off of his post-high school or whatever time. An overseas player that is committed to play for Auburn next year, the Auburn Tigers, in college. He's one of the many waves of trendy overseas players that are going to play a year of college before going to the NBA. Well, the Clippers picked him in the draft, and he announced yesterday that he is still going to go play for Auburn this year. So this is the first, at least like draft and stash style player that we see here in the NBA. We, of course, see this in the NHL all the time. We see this in Major League Baseball sometimes as well. And it's happening now in the NBA. So, yeah.
I mean, isn't the draft and stash, doesn't that like kind of originate with the Larry Bird thing? Where they took the rights to him early?
Sure.
So it's almost like it's never went away.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, other in the news, Caleb Williams is trying to trademark the phrase Iceman, and it didn't work. It got declined. What's Caleb Williams doing, man? Who does Caleb Williams think he is?
He thinks he's Iceman.
He thinks he's Iceman. He's just not.
Iceman turn. Iceman turn. What else? Iceman turn.
Drake is the Iceman.
Right.
Drake is the Iceman.
Drake's got too many nicknames.
George Gervin is the Iceman. Now, I did read this. Apparently, this was a refused thing because of an actual, like, a brand of, like, equipment from the 90s or something that had involved Iceman. So that was the reason why this technically did get...
George Gervin's the Iceman.
Why is he trying to trademark it? What do you mean you want to trademark the Iceman?
He's jealous that Drake has become the Iceman.
Has anyone ever called Caleb Williams the Iceman?
No, I don't think so. I will say Drake's got too many nicknames, man. It's Iceman, it's the Certified Lover Boy, it's Six God, it's the Boy, Champagne Poppy. You can't have all these nicknames.
OVO, yeah.
Yeah, you can't have this many nicknames,
I think you can.
They're all self-deemed.
Are they?
I think they
Iceman's
are.
pretty good. I understand why Caleb Williams wanted it. It's too late, though.
It's too late for Drake.
Bad timing.
You know who the Iceman is? George Gervin. My guy. George Gervin.
Okay.
That's the Iceman.
Yeah, that's your guy, yeah. So if I went up to 100 people on the street, hey, who's the Iceman?
Depends how old they are.
No, Drake would be the answer. And you know who would get 0 answers? Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams, yeah.
Yeah, he would get 0. So shout out to Caleb Williams. Okay. It's really all I got in the news. Talked about it earlier. U.S. men's soccer team. They lose last night. Not that big of a deal. We're not going to gripe on them for it. They already did win their pool. They're going to take on Bosnia in the round of 32. That's next Wednesday. So that time has been announced. 8 p.m., I think, on Wednesday.
I got something bigger for you. Chris Haynes says Detroit Pistons are conveying that Jalen Duren will not be moved, and they are solely focused on coming to terms on an agreement to keep their all-star center. League sources tell me. That is from Chris Haynes. Jalen Duren not going anywhere.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably bigger news.
So now all these sickos can get it out of their heads that he has to be traded.
Yeah, interesting. I just want something to happen. And I know something's going to happen like tonight. And we're not going to be able to talk about it until next week. All right, that's it for the news.
All right, 989-837-6125. This is the Ben Bosscher Show live here on 100.9 The Mitt. Support the pride, passion, and tradition of Northwood Athletics. From packed gyms to big plays on the field, the Timberwolves compete with heart every single day. Catch all the action. Cheer on Northwood Athletics as they continue building championship and competition in the classroom and the community. Quick shout out to our friends over at Eastman Party Store. You know, the one-stop shop for everything you need before the weekend hits. Whether you're grabbing cold drinks, snacks for the game, or realizing last minute that you do need ice, Eastman Party Store has you covered. Heading to a tailgate, house party, or settling in on the couch tonight, make it easy on yourself and swing by Eastman Party Store. Get in, get out, and get on with your night. It's that easy. Eastman Party Store, quick stop, Great selection and always clutch when you need them most.
The Ben Bosscher Show, built by Bresky Siding and Building Repair on Siding and Building Repair on 100.9 The Mid.
All right, welcome back in. It's the Ben Bosscher Show. We've got 3 traditions to close this thing out. The first tradition that we have, I like to call our Lock of the Day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Yesterday did not hit. We tried to get patriotic on you.
Yeah.
USA, USA, and it didn't work. They lost.
Yeah, I guess you can't do that anymore. I kind of saw it coming though, right?
Yeah,
now
they had nothing to play for.
Well, I just saw it coming that it wasn't going to hit just because it's this makes a lot of sense. Ben is betting on soccer, and clearly has shown the way he feels about it. I didn't think they would lose. I just thought it was going to be a draw, and they lost. So that's
you don't win, you lose.
That's true.
That's how most sports work.
Unlike this one, right?
Draws are acceptable.
2-2 this week for Ben. He's 0.13 units down this week, 0.76 units up though in June. So this is an important day because if you don't hit this bet, you would go down in the month for the first time since the first day of the month.
Is it possible that the United States plays on the 4th of July?
I believe so. I think that was something that was rumored. They might play like England.
There's only 2 games on the 4th of July. It would be the round of 32 winner 1 versus the round of 32 winner 3. So that's the quarterfinals? No,
I think the quarterfinals is already what we have on the round of 32, right?
No, the round of 32 is just round of 32.
The quarterfinals would be after the
Or is the quarterfinals? No, the quarterfinals is when there's 8 teams left.
No, yes.
So whatever the Sweet 16 essentially.
Yeah, so
the second round.
They for sure won't play on Saturday, July 4th.
Because we're not winner 1, 2, 3,
I honestly
or
don't
5.
know.
What group are we in?
I might just be kind of talking in here.
1, 2, 3, or 5. Are we in group 1, 2, 3, or 5?
One sec.
We're in group. Well, okay, now they're listed.
Yeah,
by
they're
A.
in group D.
So no, there's no chance we can play on the 4th. Bad scheduling.
That would be group 4, right? Hopefully,
I would guess so. That would be my guess.
All right.
Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Come on, just let us play on July 4th, man.
The U.S. plays. No, they play July 6th. Our first game is July 1st against Bosnia, and then they would play the winner of 2 teams that we don't know who is going to be that matchup yet.
Got it.
Why couldn't we just play on the 4th of July? Do you think they're scared?
They gotta be.
We can't have them play on the 4th
gotta be
because if they
scared.
lose, then it just kind of ruins the whole day.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think about that. What were you thinking?
Yeah, but what scared were you thinking?
Well, they're scared because they got to compete with the hot dog contest.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding.
That's true.
Also, I will say, July 4th is a pretty, not watching TV kind of day.
Yeah,
so
you want to be outside.
To have U.S. play, July 4th weekend, you could do. I understand doing it on, Sunday or, whatever. But
Sunday night, July 4th.
Yeah, the 5th, that would
be?
be?
The 5th, but it's a Monday night instead.
I feel like that's still good enough.
Okay, so July 4th being on a Friday or a Saturday, right?
Crazy.
That Monday.
Wish it was Friday.
One of the worst Mondays of the year.
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's always the Monday after the New Year is the worst day of the year for sure. The Monday after the 4th, especially when you don't really get along. I guess you kind of
We
do
had
get
one
along
not that
weekend.
long ago that we said was a pretty bad one. I can't remember which day it was.
I think the best day for the 4th of July to fall on, the more I'm thinking about it, is a Thursday because no one's going to work on Friday
Correct.
at all.
That, and the reason why this upcoming Monday will be one of the worst Mondays of the year is because a lot of people won't get the extra day off for July 4th. Some people will get Friday off just because, it's the day before July 4th. Sure, why not? No one's going to be doing anything that day at work anyways.
Correct.
But a lot of people won't get an extra day off. So then you have to come back in Monday off of you had one day to celebrate July 4th, basically,
one day
on
to
Saturday.
recover.
Yeah,
which really ends up being a half a day
because
to
then
recover.
Sunday's honestly probably going to turn into no, we're still celebrating July 4th. And then Monday's going to be even worse. So yeah, that's a really good one. Don't got to worry about that for another week, though. So,
anyway,
hey, what's
lock
your
of the
bet
day.
today? Yeah,
I'm going with Paul Skeens to have 9 Ks. Seems like a lot, but what were the odds that I gave you on that?
Plus 120.
Plus 120. Reds strike out the second most in all of baseball. That's who they're going up against tonight, Cincinnati. Skeens, have you looked at his game log? He throws 100 pitches every single time he's out there. So
Classic
that's
Skeens.
why he is like minus odds to have 8 Ks. He did it twice last month, the 9+ Ks. He's only done it once this month.
So you're saying he's due?
Saying he's due, and he's owned Cincinnati for the most part in his career. 5-0 versus them with a .53 ERA against Cincinnati. So I feel pretty comfortable going the 9 Ks from Paul Skeens.
Yeah. Remember when Skeens had that big blow-up start at the beginning of the year and, we thought he sucked?
You mean the opening game for Major League Baseball?
Yeah.
Other than that Netflix game? Yeah, he doesn't suck.
Where he didn't even get through the first inning? Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Yeah, because what's his name in the outfield?
O'Neal Cruz, yeah.
O'Neal Cruz had just the most mind-numbingly dumb plays ever. Yeah, so Skeens 9 strikeouts. What do you think? Taylor fade?
I'll fade.
Why? Going into the weekend, you're going to fade me like that, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna, man. Deal with it. I'm 4-0 by this week in Taylor fade, by the way.
Oh,
So
wow.
my Taylor fade has just been kind of on fire. 60-41 now.
All right. That is our lock of the day.
Lock of the day.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up. Lock it up.
Hate being treated like a number but love showing your smile? Well, Dr. Brandon Scott at Scott Family Dental can relate, which is why he doesn't sign contracts with those sketchy insurance companies trying to control your dental care. That is Scott Family Dental. Your care is all about you. Okay, next tradition we have, it's our game of the day.
Game of the day.
What
Did
do you
I
got,
I
man?
did Team USA yesterday, right?
Yeah. Wait, no, did you?
I don't know.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Well, the Tigers are in action tonight, but we kind of wrote them off as their season's done.
Yeah, and it's like Kiter Montero versus Spencer Arrighetti.
Oh, wait a minute. No, yesterday was the Schlittler versus Boston game. Yeah, probably can't be that. I mean, is it just Skeens? Is Skeens versus Cincinnati good
could
enough?
be.
But Cincinnati's doesn't even have a you know what?
You know what you got starting this week, though? Dodgers Pods, the best rivalry in baseball, starts this week.
Is that this week? Who's
And
on the
it's-
mound today?
It's Roki Sasaki versus Walker Buehler. So Walker Buehler's facing the Dodgers. That's kind of fun. The Miz is on the mound today as well, too.
Oh, wow. We got a lot of good pitchers on the mound today. And guess what?
Zach Wheeler, too, yeah.
Oh, I was about to take Mbappe. I was about to take him. But he plays at 3, and that, by law, is not allowed to be taken as the game of the day because it's not a night game.
Dang. Wait, does Messi play today?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, let's go with the best rivalry in baseball, man. Let's go with Roki Sasaki on the mound for the Dodgers going up against the Padres as our game of the day.
Game of the day.
I got 2 words for you. Steve Nash and Chris Paul. Must-see TV.
It died.
You know, there's not.
I think the other tradition died.
Oh, that wasn't a tradition then. We did it like 3
Wait,
times.
wait.
Michigan fans
Oh.
said they have nothing to worry about.
Just kidding. It never died.
Okay.
It's so back.
Yeah, no, it never really left. And I don't even know if we can call it a
Wait,
tradition yet
wait.
because it hasn't even been a week.
Michigan fans said they have nothing to worry about.
Yeah, no,
They got nothing to worry about.
Last thing we got, predicting Collins Open. Fox Sports Radio, The Herd, they take over. Our wait. There is one more thing I have to tell you about. Pizza Baker. Oh, my God. How could I forget? Downtown
That is
Midland.
actually a tradition on a Friday, yeah.
Pizza Baker, please head there. It is the best pizza you will have in town. Crisp wood fire pizza that you just can't get anywhere else. I always go with the banana peppers margaroni. Banana peppers pepperoni. Sometimes if I'm feeling a little crazy, I'll ask for the hot honey finish, and it is so good. In and out, really fast. It's not going to slow you down because it's that sourdough bread. So it's the perfect amount to fill you up, not enough to slow you down. I love it. You'll love it too. Pizza Baker, downtown Midland. Whose turn is it to go first? I think it's yours.
It is your turn to go first. 61-61. Nobody got a point. He led with Team USA yesterday, and none of us picked it.
I will go with... Wow, this one's tough. I'll go Team USA. Yeah, Team USA.
I was going to say, hey, Team USA lost, and it doesn't matter. That was going to be my take. Okay, I will go with... you know what? I'm going to go with the Caitlin Clark drama that's been going on. When
Ooh,
she got
good.
the She got hit in the throat or whatever. Good amount of chatter about that this week. I'll pick that.
Okay. That is going to do it for our show then. See you guys later. Talk to you Monday. Have a good one. Bye.
The Ben Bosscher